Hello. Welcome to more stream. Let's see if this is going. Welcome to more stream. My name is Indez, and today, listen, chat. I am excited for this, man, because today we gotta go and check it out. Another interview from a massive whale that Echo just went and interview. I didn't see it, but I can't wait. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about like the most recent video that Echo just dropped. Pilots win trading and breaking the TOS, man. Listen, anything that is as spicy as this, I always love to go and watch it. So definitely gonna go and watch this in a bit. So we wait for people to come in. And then because it's just more fun whenever we watch it together. So let me see if I still have anything else to do here inside the Owl Immortal. Like pretty much all I've been doing, chat, it is I've been doing my 3 dungeons. I did my 3 dungeons. I complete my my daily stuff. I think I did the bounties. Did I did the bounties? No, we still have like 4 bounties to do, so we might gonna do this. Yo, Action, welcome. Let me actually go and put the stream, say that we're live here on the Discord so people can start joining in. Man, I can't wait to go and watch these, man. Listen, anytime that I see that Echo comes with one of these, I'm always excited because like whenever you get to hear from like the from the whales itself, their perspective, their side, I always find it fascinating. Because like everyone knows what has been happening, but nobody talks about it. So whenever they actually come and talk about it, it's pretty cool. Yo, Crazy, what's up, man? How was yesterday testing? Man, yesterday's testing, it was really fun. Obviously, you guys know that I cannot talk about it like a lot. Otherwise, that will make me I'll be in dangers, but I can say that it's looking good. It's looking good. That's all I can say. So for those that don't know, yesterday a few creators plus other PvP players, they were able to go and test it out, the new battleground map, yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. Everything was done remotely, so also was the first time that I think like Blizzard did anything like this. So a big step up. So that was really nice of them. And I wish I could say more. I wish I could say more, chat. I wish I could say more, man. Yo, Cisco, what's up, man? Tyler, what's up? Can you see your build? Yeah, you can see my build. It's I use these mainly for like dungeons. You can stop if you want. It's 4 pieces Grace, 4 pieces Vitus. But because I've been lazy to actually change builds, like I've been using these for the pretty much. What the hell? Where did they came out? Where did they came out? What happened here with my camera? Let me just fix a bit my camera. Yo, Produce, what's up? Chat. I can't wait to go and start watching this. We're just gonna wait a bit so people start joining in. Man, like I'm gonna sneeze again. What the hell is going on? All right, I think dude, I don't know why. I know why I got all these sneezes. Maybe it was because I got a bit of rain. I went for a walk. You guys know whenever you guys leave your house, it's like completely sunny outside. There are a few clouds, but it is fine. Like you're gonna be fine. And then 15 minutes into my walk, all of a sudden, like this massive big gray cloud comes on top. The sun goes away and starts raining. So I hope I'm not gonna get sick because of that. And yeah, so I had to turn back, but I was still like 20 minutes away from home by that stage. So yeah. Yo, what's up, Hopper? How you guys doing? So yesterday, as you guys know, I didn't come to the stream because like you know, the testing for the battleground map was at the same time as my streaming time, and also we had like to get like some software prepared and all these things to do like remotely. It was really fun, really fun experience. I can't wait for you guys to see. And also, chat, not only I got to see the battleground map, but also I got to see more things. Okay, I got to see more things inside the. But you know, like testing servers, like they always have like multiple features that they are working at the same time. But man, hey, chat, I mean, if only I could say something, chat. But yeah, was a fun experience. I think you guys gonna enjoy it. Whatever is coming into the game. That much I think I can say without getting in trouble. Yo, what's up, Shadow? How are you doing today? I'm doing I'm gonna be on the chat. 5 minutes ago, before I went live, I was freaking out with anxiety, and I called my wife, but my wife couldn't pick. And I'm gonna quote what she said. I said, listen, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety. And she said, block your brain and just go for it. You will be fine. And that's exactly what I did, chat. I just took a deep breath and I pressed start streaming. And here we are, man. Here we are. So it's a W for a few months then. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, like, it cannot get worse than what it is, right? Because like nothing is happening on the game. It's just like we are like on this waiting room kind of mode. So yeah, I wish I had more stuff to do. Like all I want is more stuff to do in Diablo Immortal. You know, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, okay, so we done with this, and I think I'm done with my daily stuff. Chat, I'm gonna give you guys a few more minutes to join the stream, chat. You know, whenever we watch all together is always more fun. And listen, this is a 1 hour and 15 minutes, chat. So buckle up. If you guys have to take a piss, go take a piss. Get your popcorn, get your snacks, get a beer, a coffee, whatever you into it, and it's gonna be a juicy one. It's gonna be a juicy one. Have you tested Druid? Even if I did, I cannot say. You guys know it. But no, I did not. So, chat, just if I could tell you guys, I will say, you guys know that I cannot say more than this for obvious reasons, and because I still want to be part of like the next test. And if I just come out here and I start spitting all the, you know, all the things, then I'm gonna get in trouble, you know. And I don't think we want that. Yo, King, what's up, man? By the way, chat, I think maybe tomorrow we gonna pull for the few crests. You guys, because I'm gonna tell you something. If I go here, I didn't even notice this until today, because I was like, what's happening here on these events? And I noticed, because you guys remember, like, because I'm a Diablo partner, I got like the Phantom cosmetics, and I noticed that, but I kind of wanted someone to confirm me if when it's the next. So I got 6, right? I got 6 polished shades, and I haven't spent any gems or anything, right? So I was wondering, when is the 7th one? Because the 7th would allow me to upgrade one of these 3 stars to 4 stars. Most likely I would upgrade like the rolling consequence. I think that's what it makes more sense, right? Do you guys know? It's like at 3,000, because if it was at 3,000 it would be fantastic. I haven't logged in Diablo Immortal in 2 weeks. I don't feel bad about it. You don't have to feel about it bad about it. It's just a video game, right? Yo, what's up, Mocheris? And when does test will be applied? The like it's already on the post, right? So they said that in version 3.3, which is like in 2 months or something, we're gonna be able to play the public testing. So what I think they will do is like whenever you go here into the battleground, you're gonna be able to queue up to the new matchmaking. You know. Yo, Jonathan, what's up, man? Greetings from Brazil. Então, como estás? My entire clan accompanies you. Yo, thank you, man. Obrigado. In the last video, he mentioned about the Mirror Jewel event in Shady server. Maybe you will be able to get in the 15. No, but here's the issue. The issue is that this gem search will finish on the 13th. So technically, it is like on the 12th. So how many days we got? Yeah, so we got to do this until Wednesday. Until Wednesday, right? Like we got until, so probably we're gonna do it on maybe Saturday or Friday. And I'm just gonna pull up like a few crests. So maybe we get to 3,000 and we get like the 7 and then we're good. You have a link of the build you're using right now? This one? No, I don't have. I don't have, but I can show you here and you can take a screenshot if you want. It's this one. Just take a screenshot. So yeah, chat. So don't just relax, okay? Like in 2 months we're gonna be able to play whatever we played it. The reason like why they asked for the people to join in on this testing is so they can get the feedback. So I am sure that the version we're gonna see in 2 months is gonna be different than the one I played it. But it was just like it was really fun. It was really fun. The whole having the most of the creators joining in, also a different. And by the way, chat, I was playing like a god. I never lost a match, chat. I won all the matches, and I got MVP 3 times. That's right, chat. So I was playing wizard because my account didn't have barbarian, so I had to play with the other superior class, right, wizard. And I was playing like a god, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. And everything was like quite balanced. It was fun. It was fun. Like the trash talking on the TeamSpeak was cool. Bro, I can get filter defense assets to save my life. Listen, I'm not like very experienced when it comes to wizard, but I'm sure like you can replace with something else for the meantime. So, chat, how many minutes we've been streaming? Okay, 30 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a few more minutes so more people can join, and then we're gonna watch this all together. This is a massive interview, bro. I love whenever we have like these people just coming and spilling all the tea, man. So we have another massive whale that came out, and I guess is gonna talk about like the pilots. For those that don't know, pilots are people that are hired to play on that account whenever like that person is not playing. So for example, you guys remember like Elon Musk, that they said that he was like really good at Diablo 4 and he got like the ranking at the top, and he was like one of the top hardcore Path of Exile players. So it was not him, it was pretty much a pilot that was playing on his account, and that was like the most weird flex, man, that I ever seen. In 2 months, it's almost summer. It's time to go out, not to play. I mean, it's Diablo Immortal, so you can take your phone with you, right? You know, you can also. That's how it is. Okay, chat. Fuck it. We're gonna start this. We're gonna start because I'm incredibly excited to watch this. So, and before this, chat, I want to ask you something. If you guys can listen, Me and my wife. My wife now. She's not here, but she's been. She's having her dessert vacation. So I've been taking over the clip channel. So guys, we are almost at 1,000 subs, which means that at 1,000 subs we'll be able to monetize the channel. We already have all the hours. Pretty much it's gonna be like the best clips from the stream if you guys cannot catch the streams or anything like this. So if you guys can and drop a sub, I'll very much appreciate that. Like we've been working really hard on this. It's like literally less than 100 subs. Probably gonna get it like in 1 or 2 weeks, right? So with a plug out of the way, let's go watch now my boy Echo with another massive interview with a whale insider, man. I love when they come out to spill up the tea. So let's go and watch this. Pilots win trading and breaking the TOS in Diablo Immortal.
Hello guys, welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Today I'm continuing my whale series where I bring on a special guest from the whale community and we talk about whale related things or bring topics that people are all wondering about and pose those questions to someone that is a big spender inside of the game. Today I have with me Robert Paulson, someone that many people know inside of the game, also known as RP. RP is the clan leader.
How's the volume, chat? Is Echo's volume good?
For Project Mayhem clan, and he's on the Sand Scorpion server. A lot of people requested and were excited to hear when RP was going to be coming on the show, so I share in that excitement. Robert, thanks for coming through today, man. I know I have a bunch of questions prepared for you and really curious to see how you feel.
Do you guys know this whale? Okay, kind of low. I'm going to try to bump it up. Okay, so we're going to try to bump it up a bit. Maybe what if I bump it like this?
About it. How you doing today?
I'm well, thank you, and thanks for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to.
Is it better?
I guess hear what you know.
Better now? Good. Okay, I'm gonna start. We're gonna start this again. Okay, so like that, I can just chop off the video here and there. So let's watch now Echo Gaming with the pilots win trading and breaking the TOS. Another whale has come out. Let's watch these because I'm always interested to see what they have to say.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Today I'm continuing my whale series where I bring on a special guest from the whale community and we talk about whale related things or bring topics that people are all wondering about and pose those questions to someone that is a big spender inside of the game. Today I have with me Robert Paulson, someone that many people know inside of the game, also known as RP.
Chat, do you guys know RP?
RP
I have no idea.
is
I'm new to the game.
Clan leader for Project Mayhem clan, and he's on the Sand Scorpion server. A lot of people requested and were excited to hear when RP was going to be coming on the show, so I share in that excitement. Robert, thanks for coming through today, man. I know I have a bunch of questions prepared for you and really curious to see how you feel about it. How you doing today?
I'm well, thank you, and thanks for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to, I guess, hear what you know some of the whales are thinking about. I know a lot of the community is very engaged on Reddit and YouTube and various channels, but not so much of the whale community. We're kind of, I guess, quiet because you know we already make big waves wherever we go, so we try not to draw too much extra attention. But yeah, it's nice to be included.
Of course, man. That is true. I mean, there's a lot of content out there from the low spenders and free-to-play players that actually throw a lot of hate at the whales. So I think it's a good avenue.
Hey, what does the Echo mean, man? Like, we don't do we throw hate? I listen. I think I'm always supportive when it comes to the whales.
To share what your community has to say as well. And I actually learned before the show that you actually have a lot of people within your clan that are free-to-play players as well, that you're not just a bunch of huge spenders, but that you're actually a mixed community. So that was actually really cool to hear.
Yeah, our clan actually started on the premise of being inclusive because when Diablo Immortal first launched, There were just some key power players who were massively controlling the server. They had multiple clans and then clans on the opposite side as well who kind of had a chokehold on everything. So we broke away and created Project Mayhem after the very first rain cycle and have been going ever since. But it was always with the intention of being a disruptor, making the game fun again and competitive. But then, after a few of us wailed out, we wanted to make sure it could be inclusive for everyone else. And I'm glad, 2 years later, 2+ years later, we're still doing that. We still welcome, great people. The only requirement we ever have when people ask if we're recruiting is they pass the vibe check.
Chat, do you guys think that if I go, I pass the vibe check? I mean, the vibe check is always important, right? But let's be honest. If you are like trying to apply to a lot of like clans, that's like they are majorly known for being a whale. You probably need to have spent a bit, like not every whale clan it is as inclusive as probably these guys are showing to be. Definitely a few are like a bit more restricted.
The vibe check, man, that's always important. I do the same when I bring people on the show, make sure that everyone fits that vibe check. I got a handful of questions that I want to touch on with you, many of which are questions that have been asked a lot throughout the community, and I just wanted to get your take on them. We met with Mr. W a couple of weeks ago, and
Mr.
a lot of people were
W.
interested in what he had to say, so I thought this would be really fun to have you on as well. So let's start out with the first question, and that one is regarding buying and selling accounts, sharing accounts, renting out accounts, and pilots that people have playing their accounts for them. This is not a new topic. It's something that's been discussed a lot, but I wanted to know your whole idea, your whole thought on this. So buying and selling accounts, renting out accounts, and having pilots run accounts.
Come on. I'm getting now we're getting to the good part.
For players. Do you think this is good or bad for the game, and why?
Well, I guess I would say like I don't love it in the fact that I've invested so much into my account and it does devalue how much effort and time I took into cultivating what I have. But at the same time, I do realize that there would be a power vacuum if these key players who had tremendous accounts were no longer there, and then there wasn't anyone to take over those accounts. The game would get pretty stale and be not really just not fun because I wouldn't have the same level of gameplay against whoever my rivals were in whether it be Tower Wars or inter server BG, any of.
So what he's trying to say is that if you are a whale in a whale clan, and if on the other clans all the whales stop playing the game, and then there is no people to replace those whales, the competitiveness of the server will go down. I can see his point. It's a fair point. I still think that. I mean, that's just how it is, man. Is the life cycle,
Of the game mechanics that require strong players to compete against each other. It's kind of like that iron sharpens iron, right? I I do understand this argument about terms of service. It is a violation for it, but there's so many other things that are violations for terms of service that people do on a regular basis. Whether it's AFK farming, whether it's alt farming.
Okay, AFK farming, as long as you're not using a macro or a third-party thing, it's not bannable, okay? So if you just go with your necromancer and you sit your ass with your golem, that's not there's nothing wrong with that.
Or any number of things, how they treat world chat. And if we just start blanket banning these things, then the game's going to be empty pretty.
Okay, but also I mean, comparing someone that's trash talks on world chat or AFK farms, comparing that to buying and selling account, I think like it's a bit, it's just like, oh, that guy stole candy and the other guy is doing actual crimes, right?
Pretty quickly. And it's not going to be fun for a lot of people who rely on these other avenues. There is a key difference, though, when we talk about these resold accounts or pilot accounts versus, someone who inherited an account. How would you feel if there was an account of a 10K player that you loved playing with, and all of a sudden he's just moving on to the next thing? He doesn't want his account to go to waste. He's not trying to sell it to you, but he's offering it to you if you want to keep playing it for it. Not even for him, just for yourself. If you want to enjoy it, like he's done with that toy. Do you want to play with that toy? I think a lot of people would say hell yeah. I'm hopefully hell isn't a well. We're playing Diablo. You can say hell, I'm sure. But it's just one of those things where I don't feel like there's a lot of consideration around this topic, and it's from multiple angles, whether it's the free to play community or the whale community. Because we have friends who have been gifted accounts. We have friends who may have not necessarily inherited it, but if they did, come into possession of these accounts, that's definitely something to consider. But a bigger issue, I think, too, is how are we going to enforce that? How I know Mr. W mentioned that there's IP tracking around these potential account transfers of ownership, but who's to say someone isn't playing on a VPN or traveling? I know a lot of us travel for work or just travel for fun. I know
No, okay, I understand like what he's trying to say, but it's kind of if one if one account was being played in one place and now is always being played in another place, and then one thing is like you're traveling around with like short periods of time, other things is like big times, like for example when you have a pilot, so your account you play it in your house and then the pilot is from like the other side of the east coast, or maybe sometimes from Philippines or whatever, do they hire them, and it's just like, oh, this account from like 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. it is always like on the Asia IP, and then at night in the evening whenever that guy has time is logging in at night to do all these wars, PvP, and then now he's in the US. So like they're like, of course you have to be careful whenever you're doing this IP tracing, but if you put a bit of effort, you will realize immediately if this is or not a sold account, or an account is being piloted or something like that.
myself have gone overseas or to other nations and still played Diablo and had a great time, even though I had a terrible ping. But I don't want to get banned just for moving from location to location. There's a lot around this that just really hasn't been considered by the community. So I don't think this mass.
No, I actually disagree. I think it's been considered, or at least I consider it, but there is, if you take a look into the IPs a bit more seriously, you will figure it out if it is or not. Because like it is easy to figure out, oh, this guy was just traveling there and coming back on the business trip. Like you can see the patterns. Like that's what like these the police or the investigations they do, right? I'm sure. Like I don't know if they have like investigators, probably Blizzard, and when it comes to the cheating department and enforcing the TOS, I'm sure they have like some investigators, or at least they should, right?
Massive call to action over account banning on this is really where it's going to be in the best interest of the community at large. But personally, kind of getting back on point. Sorry, I was a little roundabout there. I don't love that these accounts are being, just so flippantly traded off or passed around or resold. But I do like that we still have these strong accounts in the game. So if it's a matter of which is the lesser of two evils, I would say letting these players still continue to play.
But why? I feel like overall it is a net negative for the game. Overall it's just a net negative.
And keeping the community revitalized as opposed to just having these, having the whale community basically grow extinct.
You make some good points there, and I want to expand on it a little bit. And I'm thinking about people that are playing the game, maybe just for a couple of months, maybe even less, that are listening to this and really not understanding the depth of what the game can be, especially at a PvP, end game PvP element, the way that you're speaking of. And the point that you're making about these accounts that are the competitive accounts that allow for that level of competition that you're speaking of, if they're just removed from the game because players stop playing, it kind of dilutes the competitive nature of the game for people at that level. That's something I've never thought of in that sense, and it does make a lot of sense. There's 2 points, though, that I want to make. One, it is against terms of service. With that being said, I know tons of games where people use pilots and where people, this type of account stuff happens, that it's against the terms of service. It's not new to Blizzard. It's not only with Blizzard. It's also, it's against the rules. So I'll always say that's up to the person that is doing that action. And are they willing to potentially lose their account because they're breaking terms of service? The other thing that I wanted to bring up is you're talking about the health of what PvP looks like at an end game element, that basically what it looks like and how fun it can be for those end game players. How do you feel about, and maybe this isn't happening the way that we've been hearing, and you can give me some context here, but we hear about a lot of people that are taking and stacking these accounts and really making all of those accounts come onto one.
From my eyes, the less whale accounts there was, the less pilot accounts there was, the less, the more opportunity will be and more fair it will be for everyone else. Because like if that person stops playing the game and it just moves on to another thing, okay, just it is what it is, man. Like, he stop playing the game, another new player can come in and have a shot. We will probably have less battlegrounds without like these mega whales, because we all know, like, I'm not gonna here say like who is on these pilot accounts or not, but like it's, if you're part of like the PvP and these whale accounts things, that there are some people that they are driving and piloting these accounts. I mean, I'm sure it's fun for them, but I don't think like it's really fair for the rest of the community.
One clan or one server and just starting to kind of take over the servers and things like that. I think that's a little bit of a bigger beast than
at the end of the day, I will always be against cheating, okay? And in trying to go, it doesn't matter if you're free to play or if you're free to play, trying to use axe, bots, macros, all these things, multiple accounts, or if you're a whale that you're trying to buy, any form or type of cheating, I'm always against. So even if you make good points to try to justify, okay, but if we lose all these whales, the competitive nature at the end game will die out. Okay, I understand what he's trying to say, but what about like the other new players that are joining in on the game, that they will never have a chance to go and actually play at the top, because there's always like these piloted accounts, there's always the other side.
Than just an account being used, in a fair play, put them wherever they're going to play with their friends type situation. Any context on that?
I think that's a very isolated thing. I can only think of 2 people, and this is only happening in one region globally, where there's that kind of influence over whale accounts, where they could say, hey, we're all going here, and everyone will follow. Or say they have possession or ownership of multiple accounts, and they have pilots, like you're saying, and they have that directive because technically they're the new owners. But I would also kind of say conversely to that this happens organically, whether or not someone has ownership of multiple accounts. Right now, even on my server, we basically had I want to say in the neighborhood of like 8 to 12 very high level accounts. We're talking, 8 to 12K resonance, 7 to 9K secondaries each. And they all just came over because they got tired of where they were and wanted to go to somewhere else whether it was because they wanted to fight a specific group or whether they wanted to avoid drama on their own server. There's just going to be migration that happens like that. Now,
Yeah, but
I
this is not the
I
point.
do understand they're saying like this whole group is following from A to B, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this is something where it's a guy who owns multiple accounts is calling the shots. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying this happens whether or not there is that guy in place doing that, because
Mhm.
this game's been going on for 2.5 years now. And people get recruited all the time over multiple.
And again, like regarding that guy that is like manipulating the servers and all these things, he went beyond that. He went like people were buying, were renting accounts. Then this guy was calling the shots, and it was not like 6 or 7 whales that they went and maybe they got bored of being on that server and then they switch it out. No, it's like we're talking about like a massive number of accounts, enough to actually take the reign, like. So of course, like if it's just like a few whales, they know they are trying to go to a different server to try to get a new experience. Of course, like this is gonna happen. It will always happen. It always will. But the problem that we were having with the other guy was just like he was like going into a reign with like many accounts, enough accounts that you can create clans, that you can take over the things. So
Discords or even Reddit, or they just talk to people in battlegrounds, and then they make friends, and then they tell them what's going on their server. Hey, can you come help us out? We really, it may be boring on their current server, and so if they go to a place that's more competitive, that might be more appealing. Or conversely, they want to get away from the drama and they want to go help someone who they feel they might be able to help against another bully there. There's opportunities
these
all over the
situations are
place,
completely
and
fine.
ever since Blizzard instituted this server merge, or excuse me, server transfer opportunity in the game, there's just a lot of.
Chat, how do you guys feel about like server transferring? Because I feel like, especially in Diablo Immortal, it is kind of, I understand, because like sometimes your server will die and it's not fun to play on a dead server. But in World of Warcraft, this existed, but not to this kind of level, man. Like here in Diablo Immortal, because I like everyone is like very very easily gets into the payments and the pay to win mechanics. So everyone feels like, oh, if I just pay here like $10 or $15 to switch to another server, it's fine. But in WoW was a bit different. But I feel like here, like sometimes is a bit negative,
Migration that's going to happen for any number of reasons. And I know this isn't a direct answer to what you're saying, as far as like a guy who can just have influence and crash a server, but I really don't think that's a significant population of the game, of the whales. It's really only represented in one region that I can even think of. It
Mhm.
doesn't happen in NA West. It doesn't happen in Southeast Asia. It doesn't happen in Europe, from what I've been told in our international whale Discord. So, I think there's just.
International whale Discord, man. What we need to get, like that would be nice. I would love to go into that Discord just to see what the conversations, man. Because like I am watching these because most of the times I try to see an empathy to the other side to just and understand like where they are coming from. So far, whatever he's saying, it's not like justifying a lot. It's just trying to come up with justifications, but I kind of wanted like answers and questions, like to be a bit more blunt about like, yeah, we do this, yes, like we don't care, or like like just feel it, just be a bit more honest and more real to exactly what has been happening.
A beef that's going on, and there are some people that make it very easy to dislike them, and it's very easy to recruit people who have been treated poorly by someone to come and bully them back after so much time. And like I said, this is game's been going on for 2.5 years. If someone treated you like crap continuously for a year and you had an opportunity to come shove it back in their face with a bunch of people who now have the strength to support that, I'm gonna say you're gonna be interested in it.
Yeah, well, first of all, couple of things. One, I know that we didn't really discuss that topic as in depth as we just went into it. So I appreciate you giving context to it, even though I didn't kind of warn you that we were going to get into that. That kind of just went in that direction. So thank you. I think you handled the question well. You gave context that maybe we didn't think of in the past. You also brought up two things. One, I appreciate you being very vague with who we were speaking of. That's always really important to me when I do these because I don't want to call out anyone in particular in a video.
This feels chat that is exactly like Harry Potter and the Voldemort. Like nobody wants to say the name, but everyone knows what you're talking about. It's so funny, man.
And two, you brought up a good point about regions, right? Like this doesn't go on in all servers in all different regions. So people that are potentially dealing with this and not liking it, they always have the option to change to an area that may not have those issues as well. Yeah, not saying that. I mean, I am in a server cluster that's supposedly dealing with all of this stuff right now, and I don't really see an impact on my day-to-day personally as a player where I'm saying, oh, the game is ruined for me.
But also, like, Echo doesn't push for Immortal, so if you don't push for Immortal and you're a casual player, of course, like, you're most likely not gonna get affected by someone who's trying to get the Immortal.
Also, though, I'm not someone who really cares if I'm an Immortal or a Shadow,
Yeah, see?
so maybe I'm not the right person to judge that. But I just want to say I really appreciate the context that you added to that, which brings me to the next question. You talked about we kind of mentioned bringing
man no, we're moving to the next question, and regarding the pilots, man, if any whale wants to come and just like, if you can come on the stream and as anonymous, it doesn't matter to me, because I want them to explain exactly what is happening behind the scenes, man. Like, I know a few things, like they have like these multiple accounts, these bot accounts, these pilots, these spreadsheets that, man, this goes like extremely deep, and it feels like they are just like rubbing the surface and trying, but they are not telling us exactly the behind the scenes of like what happens. I hope that made sense.
all these accounts together. We heard that players were paying 20,000 for a blessed rain, and people were being hired as mercenaries to come and dominate wars and pull in wins for people. I've heard various people from the community say this is happening, that's not happening, and it's a complete rumor, or that kind of happened, but it didn't really go that way. I wanted your take on that. So really, did this really happen, or are they really hiring assassins to come in and dominate
SWAT
wars?
team.
That I didn't think this was real either. I thought this was internet tough guy talk until I was joking around about it on the whale Discord, and someone actually confirmed it and showed me the screenshots. And the reason, we've always made jokes in the whale court about this is this magic number of 20K, right? And I thought it was fake because this 20K thing is just like, yeah, some guy over the internet's going to pay you $20,000 to come help him beat some people up
That's
in a
crazy.
video game. He's also maybe a Nigerian prince, right? But it does turn out this did actually happen, except it was a massive failure. The guy did, send orbs to accounts. Some people are saying they received, Venmos from.
Bro, chat, how small is your PP, man, to go and get so mad? How low is your self-esteem? And you get so triggered in a video game that you gotta go and spend a bunch of money to try to hire people to come and help you out. That's crazy, man. That's actually crazy.
From him. Other people say that he bought, overpriced stuff like platinum wise on the market to try and get their help. So I can confirm that I also received the proof, the screenshots that there was an event where someone did try to recruit people through payment from other servers and was compensating for them
Chat, 100% the most beta. 100% beta male. I'm telling you.
to help overturn a rain that was trying to get a blessed rain. So it wasn't that $20,000 was paid to secure a blessed rain. It's that someone paid money to try and stop people from getting a blessed rain, and
That's
then they
crazy.
failed. They fell flat on their face. The group still got the blessed rain, and the guy lost a lot of money. So that
Like, chat, this is like another world. Okay, that's you know when you guys see like all those people like wearing like a Gucci gang, you know, like Louis Vuitton, like they just like have like way too much money. And usually, like their ego gets very affected if you just call him like something, right? And they will use everything in their disposal to try to show that no, I am in charge. Oh my god, this is so cringe, chat. Like, you go, you spend a bunch of money, and you still didn't get. Oh my god, and you still didn't get it. It's actually sad, right?
That is an isolated incident, though. I have never once heard of anyone ever giving or requesting.
Bro, I would love to interview that guy, because like I get, like, you guys don't understand. Whenever I don't understand something and where did they come from, I would love to talk with these people, so so I can make the questions. I'll ask why, and and because it is so fascinating to me that someone will actually do that, you know.
Requesting payment for support on whatever in this game, because as far as the whales go, like we don't. If you have that kind of expendable income, really, to go crazy on a game like this, then one, you're probably not going to want to trust someone, financially to compensate you for these various things. Two, you can no longer gift orbs like you could before, ever since the Susan scamming. And three, you don't really need to do that anymore. People just are looking for a fun place to fight. So if you tell them your story and it's boring wherever they're at, there's a good chance they'll come and join you. That happens regularly on our server with a lot of clans. And then conversely, people on our server go to other servers because they heard a great story over there and wanted to check it out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's funny how an isolated incident that actually failed in the end got turned into a story of a service that you can use to actually come win these reigns. And I mean, I'm at fault as well, hearing these stories and then talking about them on the channel, probably overinflating them beyond where they should have gone. But I'm appreciating that you put a little bit more light on that and shed some context to it, so that we all know, myself included, what it actually looks like now. Now, you mentioned Susan Express, which is the whole, buying
The good old Susan, chat. Press 1 in the chat if you already bought it from it.
materials
I know,
inside of the game at a much discounted price. So that's something that we have. I mean, I know it's always going on inside of the game. It's time when it was like the big news is a ways back, when everyone was concerned about Susan Express. That was like a year, maybe a year plus ago. But it brings me to another question.
Yeah, actually, like, nobody really cares. Most people are just annoyed that the world chat, it is always like being spammed by those bots, man.
What do you think are some of the biggest negative elements inside of the game, or what has had the biggest negative effect inside of Diablo Immortal? Is it account buying and sharing? Is it pilots? Is it or is it something like a Susan Express? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair question, because really we are kind of dealing with all the consequences of everything that happened over. I'm just going to say it, poor decision making on Blizzard's side of when they would actually address the issues, right? Like, Yeah, sure. Susan may have been finally addressed a year ago, but that still leaves a year and a half of running rampant with credit card fraud schemes, negative orb situations, and all kinds of other. I don't want to say necessarily deleterious, but just scam-like events that were happening in the game. The thing is, sure, those accounts did go negative orb, but that plat still stayed in the economy of whatever server you were on. So that created a hyperinflation of everything in the game. So, your every normal gem, aside from rubies, were going for 400 platinum a piece. I'm sure you remember that, and it was great as a low
Hmm.
spender because you could actually accumulate enough to buy things, and then you had an opportunity to grow your account, right?
Right.
But and
So here, this is way past my time, right? Like, I'm new to the game. I only been playing for like 10 months, so I am very curious. I always like to go to know a bit of like actual Diablo Immortal lore.
same thing with a lot of the resonance gems. You even like one gem power, you could probably sell for, depending on what the economy was like at the time, 1,600 platinum possibly. And then as soon as the platinum scheme crashed, we saw all of these things start to drop. And I'm not sure how it is on your server, but Gen Power on ours is, hovering just under 500 per. So, we're looking at a 66% drop. And with that, there's less people buying orbs to actually run these rifts to populate the market with the necessary resonance gems to grow your account. So while you're still farming the same amount of normal gems that are getting you maybe half of the platinum, if you're lucky, of what it was before, now you are paying an inflated rate to get, say a chip of stone flesh, which, back when the Susans were populating the servers with all kinds of crazy orbs that were, essentially run on credit card fraud. Um, but
So, what actually happened? Does anyone in the chat is aware of like what it was? Because like he's talking about like Susan was running these credit card frauds. Like, did they use like fraudulent credit cards to buy and make purchase on Diablo Immortal? So basically, using fake money to inflate the economy, something like that.
there'd be hundreds and hundreds of these gems up, and you could buy them for like 32K. Now they're going for 50K. So you're looking at, arguably 80% increase. So you're having to work 100% more and still pay on top of that 180% more. And that's just for, the people who are trying to hustle to get what they want. Now, if you're a spender, it's not so bad because now you can buy all your normal gems for super cheap. And if you are buying platinum with orbs legitimately, then there's no financial difference to you. You're making bank off this. But for everyone else, they're forever suffering the consequences of the market. The other issue, though, is that this, people capped out really fast because they could. You could pay, a tenth of what it costs to actually get something legitimately, cap your account out. There was never any action done, but then you're just sitting alone at the top, like unchallengeable. And it's not fun when you're speaking as a whale who's had multiple battlegrounds and tower wars and whatever have you, where I'm more than triple the resonance of everyone else beneath me. My defensive gem procs will clear a whole team. I don't
Mm.
even need to activate a skill or attack. I can just stand there.
Damn, chat. Imagine you just run and your defensive gems will kill everyone. Can you imagine that? I can't. I wonder how much resonance is this guy. Probably like 10,000 resonance, right? These battlegrounds matches look super fair and balanced, by the way. Yeah.
There's no fun in the game for that.
This
It's
is
like
what you
Black
get if you
Sheep
pay a
Wall
lot
from
of money.
StarCraft. Yeah, there's a lot that's really I guess I want to say, just suffered from that. And now, speaking for the free to play player experience or the low spender experience, now it's that much harder to get any improvement in the game for your account or your character. I would imagine it's probably less enjoyable for them as well because the grind is that much more, and the scarcity has really increased for whatever they're going to need. Because, like I said, so many of the whales have already reached their cap as far as their resonance gems, and even some of them their normal gems. That
And a lot of people realize that residency was not that important compared to the secondaries, and they shift gears to go from like farming or buying the legendary gems. So now they're gonna go and try to cap their secondaries. That's also what is happening. This game will be way more fun if they had a premium payment server with no extra pay to win outside of cosmetics. Yeah, I feel like cosmetics will be. I think cosmetics is completely fine, even like some convenience. But well, that's not the reality, so it doesn't matter.
they're not running rifts anymore to sell the gems that the free to play and low spend players need. I'm not sure how it is on your server, but if someone wanted to try and go buy, even a Hellfire gem or, like I said, a chip or even a Seeping Bile, there might be two or three on our market. So, I mean, if you're trying to grow your account, and the people who are picking up those highly sought after items are no longer doing it because they met their cap, they don't need to anymore. Who's the one that's really suffering? It's not going to be the guy who already has everything that he wants. It's going to be the guy who now is stuck with whatever scraps he can get a hold of.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially whenever that guy that now is like secondary capped, resonance capped most of the way got it because, abused user expressed, abused all these things. And well, it's like the other day, like there was like these arguments happening on the Discord, and someone was asking like, okay, so are you in favor of like buying an account? So if you want to have, for example, 10,000 resonance account right now, right? If you go the legit way, you're probably gonna have to spend what, like 150,000 euros, something like that, right? 150k. Or I can tell you that, if you want, there is this 10,000 resonance account that you can buy for 20,000 euros. So, if you can save 130,000 euros and have the same thing at the end of the day, why would you not do that? Because that's legit what has been happening, and that's why account and buying it is happening, because like it is so much more beneficial for someone that wants to be 10,000 resonance to just go and buy a second-hand account than actually go and play the game in a legit way. That's just how it is. It's just like you're just being smart, you're saving money, and well, you take the risk, but I mean, the risk of not doing that, it's just like, okay, I lose 20k, but you could have lost 150k, right?
Yeah, I actually, again, great points there. A lot of players, specifically ones that are newer.
So what I'm saying is that accounting, buying, selling, and all these things will always exist whenever it is so beneficial for the buyer to just go and like shortcut his way to buy an already existing account instead of like going to the Blizzard store and doing it. The same way it is like so much beneficial for you to go on Susan Express and all these things, because most of you guys that they do this shit, you don't get banned. So if you don't get banned, if you don't feel the risk, like why should you feel like you have to do it? You'll just be losing money going on the official way. It's crazy, man. That's why I feel they should fucking ban everyone, because at least I feel like you'll be like way better for the game and in all ways, because people will just had no choice. They had to go on the official store and actually buy it, because otherwise, like, oh my god, like imagine if now I lose my account. I don't want that.
of the game, they don't realize the importance of normal gems. Everything is all focused around legendary gems. Those are the exciting ones, right? The ones that are going to give you different effects, that do a whole bunch of cool stuff, that the whole pay to win is always focused around. But really, those normal gems are the ones that are still being grinded by a lot of some of those bigger accounts, difficult to get. I remember the day, and it wasn't that long ago, where I used to be, low spender myself. I would go and I would run my hidden lairs. I'd run in parties of 4, and I'd collect those normal gems, and I'd sell them for platinum, and I'd use those for legendary gems, just because they were more exciting. I'm not someone that's crazy competitive in PvP,
Yeah, a lot
so
of
for
people
me,
do
it was
that.
just the way that I like to do it. But now it's not even worth it. I don't sell them anymore because the value of them is so low. So it does make it difficult. I was thinking, of a video, what's the best way to
The value is low and it's not worth it because secondaries are that important for PvP. So after like 2.5 years, I actually wanted to know like what is the secondaries. Most likely secondaries, even if he sold all this time, are better than mine. But I never sold. I think I sold. No, I was lying. I sold, I think 1 or 2 weeks, because obviously I went and I checked it out like a very old YouTube video, and I saw that, oh, they were saying, oh, you should, I think it was Orda says was saying that you should sell the normal gems for to buy the legendary discount. This was like 1 year or 2 years ago. Everyone was giving this advice, but the thing that I noticed was like, okay, if I keep selling these gems, I will never gonna be able to catch up. So I just stopped selling them like immediately. And that was like literally the best choice I could ever made on my account. And thank God, man, because otherwise there will not be a chance for me to even be competitive in PvE or even in PvP.
get platinum for free inside of the game? And that was a much easier video to make 6 months ago, when you could actually farm platinum a lot easier than you could today.
Yeah.
So,
And not to mention pets, familiars.
oh
You
my
used to
God.
actually be able to make money off of that.
Yeah.
And now it's, assuming you even get a contract that gets you something that you can put on the market, um, there's no real opportunity to grow off of that. So that was another whole revenue stream that was just taken out of the game for people who were true grinders that really.
Yeah, I didn't get like why, because like now to sell pets they need to be aberrant, and it's so much harder. Like for me at this stage, I completely ignored all the familiar system. I think I have almost like 170 familiar contracts. Honestly, to be honest, I just kept compounding because I thought it was gonna be cool. Whenever like the new pet comes, I have a lot of familiar contracts. But the reality is that after you get your first savior pet, you're pretty much done with the whole system.
Really tried to grow their account through, sweat equity.
Yeah, I mean, people were banned at some point for doing listing pets at astronomical prices. I remember there was a short wave of bans, and I don't even understand how that went down. But yeah, speaking of bans and consequences from this platinum buying and this illegal platinum buying, I think that a great point that you mentioned here is, and I've said that a few times, but you mentioned that it's all focused around credit card fraud. That happens in all of these games. You get these fraudulent companies that come and they're able to give you discounts on in-game stuff, no matter what that game is. It's all because it's being done off of stolen credit cards, and they're utilizing the game to extract cash so that they can actually basically wash their money. Essentially, that's what's going on. So it's not that you're just finding this nice, generous service that's giving you great deals on in-game materials, but that's what's happening. So we know that some accounts got the negative orbs, got bans, and you kind of touched on this a little bit in your last response, but what are some of the other ways that the game suffered, or that other consequences that players suffered from for this, illegal platinum buying, specifically from Susan Express?
Yeah, I just, again, I think it's the long-term effects on the market. It eventually pushed everything to where demand and supply were initially, there was a dramatic supply because of Suvizen, so that these people who were using that service could get exorbitant amounts of platinum, buy whatever they wanted. and then move it on to whatever account they wanted, and then everyone else who was getting stuff legitimately, they were feasting off of it too, because
So basically, it was the wild wild west, right? That's what I'm getting from it.
there was all of this revenue or all of this platinum that they could get a hold of just by farming up whatever, putting it on the market. You could sell virtually any half desirable gem at maximum, excuse me, whether it was a normal gem or legendary gem. And it was like feast and then turn famine, right? The services shut off. The platinum stream was eventually like cut off as well, and then now no one was doing anything for a while, and then we saw uh, orb accounts being sold by Susan, where they would preload these accounts with orbs and then sell these accounts to people. These people could then run those accounts that had 16,000 orbs loaded on it and funnel those gems back to their primary account or platinum that they would sell those gems for. So it created another opportunity where there was a
Jesus
feast of
Christ.
normal gems available for dirt cheap, and you could get gem power for 400 platinum, which is the lowest allowed in the game that you can put it even on the market at. And then they would funnel that platinum back to their main accounts, and then that was eventually cut off. So it just created this like ebb and flow and ebb and flow, and part of that, I think, eventually drove the legitimate spenders to either just throw their hands up and quit, because we've seen massive attrition on that side. And then also, it's like,
Yeah, because like imagine you were a legit spender in the game. You want to do things in a as it's supposed to be, but you just feel like, man, I am spending 10 times more money than this guy. Why? Like you just feel like you getting cheated on, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had one guy with $1,000, it gets like 10 times whatever you can get with $1,000 if you gotta go into the in-game shop. That's insane. That's actually insane.
like a yo-yo effect with low spend and free-to-play grinders who
And for me, like, one of the biggest concerns that I'm having is like, I see everyone clapping their hands that the resonance keeps like getting pushed on. Now we are at 13,000 resonance, and if you are a day one player right now or a 1 month player right now, and you're just excited to go and keep playing Diablo Immortal and all these things, like, new players are still coming into the game every day, every week, every month. But like, the gap, it is so massive between a pay to win account and a free to play, even a free to play account, like with almost 3 years, and like not having any catch up mechanics. It is so demoralizing for any like free to play low spender. Like, it's just like, if you start right now, you're absolutely fucked. Like, there is absolutely no reason for you to actually go and spend a lot of money in this game, because like, it's like you're just too far gone, man. It's just like you are hundreds of thousands of dollars or euros far behind. You're never gonna be a whale, and and then they say, okay, if I'm this far behind, what is my next solution? They look on the side. Oh, there is a guy selling this 9,000 resonance account for $5,000. Oh, I guess I'm gonna get that, and that's just how it is. That's exactly what has been happening.
who are trying to get what they can however they can, and then what they rely on to get that is taken away on an instant, and they don't know any better. They just think like all of a sudden, oh, no one wants it anymore and you need to move on, not realizing the actual ramifications of it was that this was all piggybacked off of those third party services that were also in violations of terms of service.
I'm also pretty sure that most of like these 10, 11, 12,000 whales, at some point, they most likely used these servers, or it's like they are absolutely like massive millionaires, or most of them, I'm sure like they used it.
So, I mean, whether, which gets, again, where here we are circling back to issues with terms of service violations, but, there's so many people who've benefited. I would argue every single player who's played this game for an extended period of time, if you use the market at all, you personally benefited from a violation of terms of service, whether you realized it or not. so much of, I would say, arguably 70 to 80% of the platinum that was even in that market came from, at one point, one of these fraudulent services. There are very, very few Krakens out there, super high level whales who will actually buy orbs and then convert it into platinum. That platinum had to come from somewhere, and it's not coming from the 300 platinum that you're getting a day for doing 120 points of battle pass work. I wish it was. I wish we got way more free platinum on a regular basis, but it just doesn't work that way. So, at one point, the whole economy was propped up falsely by plat selling, and we wrote it unknowingly, and now we're.
I see what he meant, that everyone benefit in some way or the other, but a lot of people benefit way more. Like, if you're just someone that play casually and you use once or twice like the action house and you bought a few gems, that, like, and you say, oh yeah, you also got benefit out of it. I mean, come on.
We're seeing what it's really like without it.
That's interesting that you bring up that all of us that actually utilized the market in some way interacted with this illegal platinum that was in there. Not that anyone that was in the market did it knowingly or how.
Yeah, through no fault of their own. Yeah, this was no one's fault. But whether you'd say you're at fault or not, you touched it. It was blood money of a sort, whether you knew it or not.
Yeah, that's actually a different way of looking at it. You're right. Okay, let's talk about free-to-play players.
I mean,
a little bit. I know it's a little bit weird to talk to.
Whatever. I mean, you say, oh yeah, everyone took advantage out of it. Like, that's bullshit, man.
A whale and have a whale on, especially one that's well respected and known in the community. But you did mention about your clan, Project Mayhem, and how from the beginning you've been a balanced clan of whales, free-to-play players, and people that just clicked or checked off your value check. How do you feel that a free-to-play player, or let's say a low spender, fit into the ecosystem of Diablo Immortal, and why are they important for the game if they're not the ones that are heavily supporting the game in a monetary way?
Yeah, I think, if we look at it from a ratio perspective of spend, I would say low spend and, battle pass players, they do make up a significant portion of revenue. Now, they're not going to generate the same revenue as, say, a Kraken, $15 a month, as opposed to some of these players who will spend thousands of dollars every month. I mean, that's just simple division and multiplication. You can see what levels of relative value that these individuals add. I'm not looking at it necessarily from what they bring to the fiscal benefit of the organization that, Blizzard. Really more looking at it from the true value, the experience of the game that this community brings. And, a lot of these players, just thinking about it from the perspective, like, these are the grinders. These are the guys who put in hours and hours of work to try and get to the next level, whether it's 5 more, combat rating, or getting just a little bit better on that next triple stat, or, making sure that they cap their gems every single day, just like you used to try and get them on the market, because that's how you could make that revenue. Now, you're providing the supply for the market, which is critical for all levels of the game, whether you're low spend, free to play, a whale, a dolphin, a kraken. Everyone who is trying to advance on their.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait for him to finish, like, his opinion about free to plays, and then I'm gonna give my opinion on top of it.
Their PvP side, you need those normal gems. So the fact that you have those grinders who are doing that, that's critical, because the whales, by and large, they'd much rather just pay money than have to actually grind that much. That's not to say that these whales don't grind, but there's a lot that don't. And sorry guys if I'm throwing any of you under the bus, but I know you'd rather just swipe and get what you want right away than have to spend hours and hours in dungeons all the time. But conversely,
and the honest truth is, like, most whales, they have money and they don't have time, right? And most of the time, free-to-play players, they don't have money, but they have time. So each one is using like their own resources. But I feel like what's free to play players and low spenders, they are the majority, okay? And you need them to bring the hype, man. You need them to bring, like, free to play players. Usually they get like, they are casuals. You have like different levels of a free to play player, of course, but a lot of them, they, like he was saying, like they try to go and mid max everything, and a lot of them, like, they find like very cool stuff, very cool hidden mechanics inside the game, because they are trying to squeeze all the advantage that they can to try to compete against the pay to win players, right? But above all, we need more numbers. A game that doesn't have numbers, that doesn't have players, it is not as exciting. You know, like, whenever you're playing a game that everyone plays and everyone is excited about, that's a big part of it, and a big part of that population, it is gonna be free to play, or it's gonna be the battle pass. And you have like a very minor like percentage of like these krakens, these mega whales, or whatever you want to call them, that they are actually gonna bring the financial benefit. But there is so much more benefit that comes, that is added to the game from the free to play players, that it is not like necessarily like monetary, like directly, because they are not making transaction, but they are populating the server, they are populating the queues, they are populating the market, they are like adding gems, normal gems, so they are adding these things, which is beneficial. And imagine like if you are in the server and you go to West March and you see nobody, it's not fun. It's not fun to play a game like that.
With all that, beyond just what this community brings to those arenas, think about the personality type of someone who is willing to do that work. They're industrious, they're generally social, they're generally more willing to be participatory, they want to do things with other people, they want to help others out, make friendships along the way. And to me, that's the vibe that I personally look for when I'm looking at who's going to be a good recruit for my clan, because they're going to bring a part of themselves that is amicable, usually pretty friendly, pretty funny. At the very least, they're going to be engaged, so they're going to stay on top of their tasks, and they bring a great social aspect to the game. They are not going to be snooty. That's not to say that there aren't free to play and low spend trolls. I'm sure we have them all on all of our servers. But by and large, these are going to be some of the nicest people that you're going to meet in the game. And there's a lot more of them than there are going to be really nice whales. There's just a lot more of the low spend and free to play than there are of the whales. So, yeah, I think that they're critical. If we don't have them, the market's going to crash. The game is going to turn into a Call of Duty lobby where it's just a banner of like people talking crap to one another. It's not going to be nearly as cooperative. It would be more, quid pro quo. I'll help you for this if you help me for that. Instead, these are the guys who are like, I'll just help you because I like helping people. So I personally, I see a lot of value in the low spend and free to play players.
There is value in both sides. It's like two sides of the same coin. You need free to play players and you need pay to win players. It's the same as any game. It will always be that way. So whenever you're a free to play that you get angry at whales, you're cringe, and if you're a whale getting angry at free to plays, you're cringe. So just coexist with each other, and understand that everyone plays their role. And just because like you had a bad interaction doesn't mean like every interaction is gonna be bad. And yeah, just don't get mad, man. Like at the end of the day, this is a video game. If it's not fun for you, there's like thousands that you can play.
And I can genuinely say I would see this game dying within months, if not a month, if we didn't have them.
That's definitely a different take. One that I think a lot of people listening wouldn't expect to hear from someone that is a whale, that just the values that are had from low spenders, battle pass players, or free to play players. Really nice to hear your take on that. That you do value them inside of the game and think that they're an essential part of it. I think that a lot of people.
I think like the last whale that he interviewed, I didn't like it answered. It was like, oh, if you think like your battle pass money is gonna, change the needle or something like that. It felt like very diminishing to those players. I mean, maybe it's true because like $15 per month, but you have to think like it's $15 at times like what? I mean, like the problem is like it could be a lot of money if there was a lot of players on the game, right? But the major issue is that the game keeps bleeding players. So of course, like if you have less and less and less low spenders, it's not good for the game, man, because like you still have like these very core dedicated pay to win audience, but even those people, whenever they gonna start seeing that, man, like this game isn't going anywhere, I guess I'm just gonna sell my account. Like how many whales did stop playing because the game just got boring? And people, the majority of the times, whenever you stop playing a game, Diablo Immortal or any other, it's just because the game got boring, man. That's just how it is. Games are supposed to be entertaining, they're supposed to be fun, and whenever you get bored, most likely you're just gonna move on to the next thing.
People that are in that boat, which is, let's be honest, probably the majority of players inside of the game, at least the larger majority. So I really love hearing that. Thanks for sharing. Free-to-play players have their...
Blizzard could make a true free-to-play server only, but make it hardcore. I actually made that suggestion, man. I made a suggestion of having a hardcore server in Diablo Immortal. I think it'll be a blast. Or make like a seasonal server. Like we need something different outside of like the classic Diablo Immortal with a pay to win. We just need like more fun stuff to do, man.
Their place as well, which is really awesome. But
yeah, absolutely. And just real quick on that note too, you don't need to be a kraken or whale or dolphin or even low spend to make a difference in PvP for some of this clan activity. They're really valuable, as far as endgame goes. Free to play players who just know how to play their classes really well. They know how to support really well. You're not going to be, the running back who drives in for the touchdown. But you can definitely add a lot of value through knowing your class mechanics. There's some, I'm just going to give a shout out to one person in particular, if you don't.
Indez, thank you. He's going to give a shout out to me. Thank you. Chad, free to play player, Chad. There it is.
Mind. There's a guy in my clan, goes by Rila, not a massive spender. He's not free to play, but I wouldn't even put him on like dolphin level as far as spending goes. But he grinds. He knows his class. He knows class mechanics. He knows game mechanics. He bothered to actually understand how Baron set works, how his class specifically works, how he can manipulate the different secret mechanics.
Imagine that, chat. Imagine knowing how to play the game. That's is absolutely 200% right, man. Like, that was also one of the reasons why I started like this channel, was like because I saw that, yeah, free to play will never compete like at a high level like with a whale, but people think like a free to play is like a trash can, like they think like this is never gonna do anything, and that's not the reality, man. Like if you know how to min-max your account, if you know how to build it just right, you can actually be valuable inside the battlegrounds, inside the PvP. This is absolutely true. If it takes more time, if it takes a bit more dedication, yes, because that's the trade-off that you're doing. Like you have to spend a bit more extra time to understand the game and leverage all these in-game mechanics. So then you can go and compete with someone that maybe has more money, but maybe doesn't have enough game knowledge and all these things, and you can take leverage out of that.
Mechanics in the game, and there are secret mechanics out there if people do take the time to actually experiment. And he's one of the best PvPers that I've ever played against and played with in the game. And this is even at elite level play, where, again, I have triple his resonance at times, and if he's on the other side of the battlegrounds, then if I don't stop him, we will lose. That is how much just knowing your class and what you can offer can do without needing to rely on spend power.
I appreciate you shouting out someone like that. I think I know a handful of people that are very similar, sitting around the 3K res that that really do make a difference. Does he happen to play Monk by any chance?
No, he is a dedicated wizard, but there are,
Okay.
Of course he's a wizard, chat. Of course, like, oh, what else? What else can he actually play as a free-to-play and have a lot of impact, chat? Of course, there was only two classes. One was Barbarian, the other one was a Wizard. Wizard right now, like Barbarian is nerfed, right? So we only have the Wizard. So pretty much Wizard is the only class that we have right now to be actually truly like a banger, If you go with the Monk, understand this. All this footage that we're seeing this Monk like blasting and killing everyone. This only works if you're a massive whale with all that evasion gear, okay? So if you are free to play and you think you're gonna be like this, playing Monk and watching this gameplay, I'm sorry, that's not gonna be your experience.
People in our region where they can be Necro, Wiz, Satyr, or Barb, and they're still just a force to be reckoned with. Now, I do think there are some classes that are gated as far as spend power goes. But I think those four classes really do have the best potential to do the most without significant spending.
I think it's the key there that you mentioned is they're not going to be the running back. Everyone, including myself, wants to be the guy going into battlegrounds, coming out with 20 kills, if not more, and really just shining, just feeling great about it. And it's probably not realistic that a low spender would be able to do that in a lot.
It will happen from bronze to legend, but after you hit like the high tier legend and you start to actually playing against like high resonance players, that will stop happening and you're gonna be forced to go into a more supportive role. That's just how it is. Necromancer is not as impactful as a wizard.
Lobby with a whole bunch of whales, but playing a support role that can really help out the team is also something that's really valuable in pulling in the wins. But you won't be that star quarterback, but you definitely can have utility. So great.
Yeah, that is true. But just to go back on that real quick is that even if you're not the guy who is topping the leaderboard at the end of the battleground, we do, the actual elite level players, we do recognize the people who, they are the fan or squishy. Those are West players, not high spend, but you see them on your team and you get absolutely pumped. Your chances of winning just shot up. So you don't need to be on the top to be recognized and talked about and appreciated.
Well, and that's because you have a good, solid community that supports all this type of stuff as well. That doesn't naturally come in the game. That's something that's built because of the community that's built around, your server, your clan, and just those players. Now,
yeah, I would say a region.
Or your region. Yeah, it's a region that I'm not part of. I've heard great things. Speaking of free to play, let's bring that back to Blizzard and how players are treated. Do you think Blizzard treats free to play players differently than they do some of the large spenders inside of the game? It would to me, I would believe, and none of this is anything that I know. Being a Blizzard partner, I learn about things from the game from the development team, but
it's because I know that a lot of people say that free to plays are treated differently, or in this case, pay to win players, the ones that bring the big bucks, they get like the most benefit out of like this game.
And the whales.
Yeah, no, I can definitely give my own firsthand experience to this. Yes, I definitely do think that free to play and spenders are treated differently. I've personally been invited to attend
VIP
Zoom
parties
calls with Blizz, and
wow.
So were other high level players, high resonance players. And when I asked around about it for others who were not, identified as high resonance or significant investment in the game. They were not invited. So I mean, that's just
It's like Scrubs. You didn't listen. You didn't spend enough money to join the VIP party. Okay, so maybe once you spend like 50K, then you can join on the next call. But not this time, buddy.
just one example. But another example that comes to mind, and please, I implore anyone who listens to this, go check it on Reddit, go search for it. You'll see it. The ban waves. There are people who you talked about it earlier. There was 1-day bans, 3-day bans, 5-day bans that happened in these ban waves, but then there were also permanent bans. Those permanent bans weren't happening to high spend accounts.
Of
They were
course not.
happening to free to play players. And I think that's unfortunate. I think
It's not unfortunate. It's business. It's like, oh, you were doing illegal stuff. Oh, but you spent 200,000 euros in this game. Okay, I guess we're gonna keep you on the game.
fair. I do wish that there was some, I'm sure you remember the ban, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that was one of those things where it's like, why can two people make the same mistake or same
Because one has more money. So with money gives you power, power gives you privilege. So it's simple. It's simple to understand.
terms of service violation, but one of them is permanent.
It's sad, by the way, and this is why this that he's saying right now, it is exactly why this account buying, blah blah blah, the bots, this will never stop, man. This will never stop. This will always be like this because money will always talk.
Permanently removed, and the other one has to go touch grass for a day. Like it doesn't translate as like truly being fair. But
I will say, chat, that if you get banned from this game, like permanently banned, I think the way you should look at it is like, I am free. I am free. I can finally move on. Because I'm promise you, man, like it will be a good thing for you.
to that end, thinking about this from a financial perspective for the company, if they're removing someone who's spending money, then it's costing them. If they're removing someone who isn't spending money, then they're really not losing anything, at least initially. Sure, the game is going to lose value because, like I mentioned, those individuals add value to the community, but that's like an intangible value. They don't really, they can't put that on a on an item list of quantifiable revenue or impacts that they get to generate from a fiduciary responsibility perspective. They just see, okay, if we remove this player based off of this trend of what their spending history looks like, we can expect to lose this amount of revenue, as opposed to this person who has contributed no financial outcome to the game that they're seeing a profit off of directly. They can remove and face little to no financial losses. So yeah, I think they're absolutely treated differently. Now, should they be treated differently?
No, but that's life.
Again, you're going to pose ethics from
That's what I was gonna say. No, listen, it's not fair, but that's life. Life is not fair, chat.
a moral perspective.
If you like to play, you'll make another account or find another. Listen, if I ever got banned from any game, absolutely I wouldn't care to play it again. Like, absolutely not. Like, this in the case that I got unfairly banned, okay? Because like, I listen, chat, I never got like banned from like doing these naughty things, I mean, I got banned from League of Legends, but I was young, I was stupid, and I was super toxic, right? I mean, that's different, but I never like cheated or used like aimbots or all these things, right? Like, I feel like those things are cringe, but if you just like flaming in the chat and you get banned from that, I mean, that's life, right?
As opposed to ethics from a fiduciary responsibility perspective. Because this is a for-profit company, they are legally liable to make decisions that are in the best financial interest of their shareholders. So Otherwise they will be facing fines and can be sued by their shareholders. And this does happen on a regular basis. The SEC is very good at it. And that's the Security Exchange Commission for those who don't know. The people who are overseeing the stock market, the governing body there. But yeah, they need to do what's right for the company. And again, going back to different understandings of how this all kind of works in the background, we're the ones who actually benefit from that. By keeping the people who do generate the revenue for the game. We're seeing these updates on a major updates on a quarterly basis, smaller updates on a monthly basis, and then all these extra events. That coding isn't free. They do actually have to hire people. And if those people are going to work, they're only going to be able to do that work if the company's turning profit. So they need to do what is going to keep the game profitable, or the game.
Yeah, but at the same time, if all the people that are bringing the profits are always the only thing they are doing is like illegal stuff, right? And it's just like, oh, if you're a millionaire, you get a free a ticket. How do you say, a free ticket from jail? That's just like, I don't feel like that's a game that I want to keep playing. Because I mean, we all know that you already get a lot of advantage in your powered character, but if on top of that, everyone starts knowing that, yeah, you can just do whatever the fuck you want as long as you have a lot of money and nothing will happen to you, then like, what is like the incentive of actually trying to be a legit player? What is the incentive of actually just keep trying to play this game? It's crazy. It's like the whales, they know, because like this, as the game keeps dying out, as the population of the game keeps decreasing, I feel like the power that these big whales they have gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because like the less players you have, the only remaining spenders, they become even more valuable, right? So I don't know where this is going, man, but it's just wild.
Game's going to go away flat out.
Yeah, another bunch of things that I wanted to touch on that you just brought up. I've said it since the beginning. I actually, I don't remember who it was I had a conversation with, but it was during the beginning stages of Diablo Immortal, when we were all wondering, before it even came out, because in the testing phases, technical alpha, we didn't know how the game was going to be monetized. And everyone was like, is it going to be the Path of Exile way, or is it going to be a pay-to-win way? And, everyone likes the idea of, let's buy cosmetics. And at the end of the day, that model wouldn't have supported the game in a way that Blizzard and NetEase were looking for, to be financially stable enough to continuously bring content out as much as they do. This is one of the best games, one of probably the best action RPG for updates. We have updates every single month. Now, some months it's new cosmetics that you could buy. Other months it's whole new, new classes, new zones, and things like that. I think they do a very good job. I personally love the updates as a player, and also as someone who creates content for the game. I know that's a whole different story, but when new stuff comes out, it's new stuff for me to talk about as a YouTuber myself. So I personally like that new stuff is coming, and I do recognize that is because there's a lot of people that are inside of the game that are financially supporting those types of updates. So I get it. Also, it goes back to the old saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Right. Ethically, everyone should be treated equally. I mean, that is the right thing as a human, to treat this person the same as you would treat this person, whether they have more money, less money, spend more or less, or whatever the differences are between those people. That's ethics. But when you're talking about what's best for the company and what's best for the investors, you don't want to piss off the people that are helping you make the game that you want it to be. And that's not to say that players that spend $15 a month aren't helping the cause. When you think about a year's worth of spend, they're actually putting a decent amount of money into the game. As you said, nothing like a whale. Funny thing, I'm sitting around 3K res, a little over 3K res. I get the battle pass and the boon of plenty, and sometimes Prodigy's Path. and every once in a while I'll buy a pack. But nowhere's near a big spender inside of the game. But I actually have gotten a couple of comments lately from players saying that they can't relate to me because I'm such a high spender inside of the game. And I
Yeah.
think what it is
It's not a high spender. It's just like it's been spending small amounts over a long period of time. So a new player look at his account and he's saying, okay, if I'm a free to play or low spender, only in like 3 years I'll be there. So because of that specific thing, they feel like their account is not relatable. That's exactly one of the reasons why also my account and my channel popped off like in the beginning, because my account is like very it is one of the earliest that there is when it comes like content creation. It only has like now like what 9-10 weeks 9-10 months, right? So when I started making content, my account was like around like 5-6 months. So it's very like the window is very relatable. But I know if I keep creating content in like 1 or 2 more years, it will get to a point that will become like incredibly unrelatable for the new player that's just starting the game.
Though is there's a lot of new players that watch my videos, right? Because I put out stuff that kind of lends itself for newer players.
It is now 3,000. Yeah, it is 3,000, but you have to understand from a free-to-play low spender perspective, 3,000, it will take a lot of time. It'll take years to get there.
And for a newer player, looking at a 3K res account,
yeah,
I mean, I put 2.5 years into my account, which is why we've gotten there. But it does make sense that, you know, to them, 3,000 res is something that's unattainable without spending a ton of money.
Yeah, of course.
For me, I look at it, I'm like, man, I'm such a light spender. I'm basically just buying like the super great deals in the shop because I think that it's fun. It helps progress my account in a fun way. Still nowhere's near able to compete with some people at the whale status. But it was interesting that I was getting those comments for the first time. And it was all around the Gem Surge event that was recently going on. And what was it? Not the one where you can get the 5-star gem. What was that called? The gem.
The Phantom
Gallery.
Phantom Gallery.
Yeah. Because I had some orbs. I used about $50 worth of orbs to really manipulate that system as best as I could. And those orbs I got all from I think it was from Prodigy's Path or one of those things. I was just saving my orbs. And you know, I just wanted to try and take advantage of the system so I can get some gems, and then I could use the new Gem Surge event to get those gems from 2 stars to 4 stars and just really take advantage of the system. That's where those comments came from. All right, I'm going off on a tangent.
No, that's fine. That's a good point, though, honestly, that, you know, people don't understand. This is me speaking to the grind earlier. Like, you're the player who puts in the work to develop stuff over time. New players don't understand that because they haven't been around long enough. Yeah. You also, I'm sure, made some platinum off of familiars back when you could actually sell them. Mm-hmm. And that's something that they don't understand too. Like that was a massive windfall for a ton of players when it first hit. And, you know, who knows what it'll bring in the future. There might be new things that are released where all of a sudden it's going to be like...
Yeah, it's like as you keep progressing in this game and you keep like, you know, playing it, you kind of start losing the relatability that comes with it, right? The relatability to a new player, because like after a while, it's been like many months since you level up. It's been many months since you got to rank 30 on your gear. So there is a lot of things that start getting a bit of a disconnect, and you start like losing the empathy to understand how does actually a new player really feels whenever he joins in the game. And this is why I always try to bring it up to whenever I try to speak with a whale, whenever like I'm on the Discord partners Discord. It's just like, try to put yourself in the position of like, you're trying to get new players to join your game. You're trying to increase the population of your game. And yet, it's like all the changes that we're having recently have been like really like, you cannot get plat. The market is pretty dead. Now you can't really actually sell your normal gems. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind a lot. So the catch-up mechanic systems are in things that, you know, yeah, you can get scraps more easily. You can get like on your reliquary stuff. But what you really need is like, give me a catch-up mechanic on resonance and on secondaries, on things that will actually matter, because the rest is just like, it doesn't really matter.
A gold rush, but right now we're just not at that point. So maybe we will. Hopefully, I'd love to see that. Love to see something that excites the community again to want to engage like that.
There'll be
But yeah,
something.
new players, yeah, just give it time. Exactly, put in the work and give it time.
Yeah, there'll be something that they're always adding new stuff to the game where you have to take advantage of that opportunity while it's hot. I want to touch on one more thing. This is more of an open topic. I know this was a discussion that
The hottest thing that there was like in the past months was runes. Runes was the only thing that you could actually take advantage.
you kind of wanted to have here, and it's around macro users.
Oh,
So
the
I just
macro
wanted to
users.
kind of open the floor to you for that discussion topic. I know that the whale community had some questions about that topic itself. Would you mind just taking a second to explain to everyone what you're talking about with macro users and what kind of questions or thoughts you had on that?
Yeah, so macroing is similar to what people kind of refer to as botting. It's a little more complex. You set up a sequence of keystrokes or mouse clicks or whatever, or touches on your screen if you're using a mobile device or a tablet, so that you essentially set up this whole sequence so that it can loop on itself and
Yeah, so imagine like whenever you see a barbarian like AFK farming and he's pulling like the hammer and the chains and all these things, he's using a macro, so it's like it's like you press record, then you put 1 2 3 4, and then you stop, and then you tell to this macro recording program okay, now just keep looping that, so your barbarian will keep doing 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 in an infinite amount of time. That's pretty much what a macro is.
run a dungeon or world farm or whatever you're choosing to have it do. There are some people who utilize devices to do that, and right now I think they're only getting caught through primarily people catching them and reporting them. And they're facing various bans. Some are larger than others. I think part of that is also what.
In my opinion, this has to be a permaban. Like, what are we kidding? Like, you just leave like the PC on all the time with a macro that's doing like this circle loop. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
They're going to fall in. But
it's just like there are some things that like they are so obvious. Like, but the problem is like, you know what? If you're free to play, you gotta get banned if you're using macros. But if you spend 100,000 euros on this game, you're not. So that's the thing. Like, whales, they can probably still be using all these macros and all these things, and they know that they have like these this shield that is called the money shield, that as long as you keep spending a lot of money in the game, you're never gonna get banned.
This is kind of a gray area because technically, yeah, this is a
no
violation of terms of service, but so is being on an extended follow, AFK farming, as it were, or spooning. These were things that are against terms of service.
But where does it say? Like, if you no, it's not. If you follow someone in the open world, like, no, it's not. That's not bannable. What are we talking about?
But they also created a mechanic within the game that you can follow indefinitely in open world. You can set up multiple characters if you're on multiple devices to follow one person through dungeons, so that you can farm that way as well. That's a common way of all farming, which again, all farming, another form of violation of terms of service, which if we're going to start getting super aggressive about, then everyone who's an alt farmer out there who is made platinum off of these additional accounts and funneled it back to your own account, you should be banned too.
Yeah, fuck them all, chat. Ban them all. Ban them all, chat. Tomorrow we're gonna have 0 players. Man, I to be honest, chat, if it was me, I will not ban in the past because past actions, but I will put a rule to make. I will put like AFK farming bannable. I will put not the fallow one. If you put fallow and you're like taking turns, that's completely fine. I will put alt farming bannable. I will put listen, these things are supposed to be bannable, okay? The problem is like they are bannable, but they are not banning. You know, they are actually bannable. What I'm saying by bannable is that like they should ban. You know, like the thing, it's like it gets harder to ban people whenever there is only some few remaining on the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just like nobody wants to play this dog shit game anymore. And if we go and we start banning all the people that are doing all these against the OS things, then the game is dead, right? So now they are not in a power position, because if in the beginning of the game they imposed the TOS like very like drastically, and they went like, listen, if you do this you get banned, that we will be having right now a much healthier game. Most likely we will have more players playing because the game will be way more fair and way more legit than it is. But right now they can't ban fucking shit. You know, they can't ban anyone because it's like, you know, they are working so hard to get like a new player into the game, and imagine like if they are starting to ban the old players now. You know, it feels like they just can't at this stage.
We're going by that kind of logic. I'm not saying I want you to be,
and because like people know that if you just, you know, if you do all these things, you don't get banned. People just keep doing them. You know, like why would I be playing like 6 hours per day whenever I can have a macro, you know, playing it for me, and I know that I'm not gonna get banned. It's the same thing as like the count buying. It's the same thing as everything. And there is no statement coming from Blizzard ever, and I'm sure, and I'm certain that Blizzard is not gonna tell you that we're gonna allow these. No, they wanna say that no, we don't allow these. We very much dislike these actions, but you know, but at the end of the day, nobody's gonna get banned.
But if you're going to be so vigorous about this, then you fall under your own umbrella. Now, going back to macro users, there's already coding set up by NetEase for their version of Diablo Immortal in China, where they can do this kind of, you know, similar to an AFK game type farming, where it goes and does whatever you set it to do.
Yeah, but this is not China, man.
And we're starting to see this happen as well with how familiars are being used. You can have them run tower for you. You can have them run shadow contracts. You can have them run now during this limited time event your daily bounties. But you know, it's an interesting topic because right now there's punitive action being taken over it, but there's more and more things in the game that are starting to steer towards the usage of it, as well as different regions in the world allow it. So I guess, you know, it's complicated. I personally don't use any macros, or you know, there's a special type of mouse or a specific type of phone you can get that will do all these things for you. But I don't condone it. I'm not going to name them because people do face bans over this, and I'm not going to do anything that'll lead to people getting unnecessary bans. But they are out there, and some people have become like truly reliant on them. Like the game's not fun for them anymore because it did so much work for them for so long before they started banning over it. And we're back to this gray area of, you know, are we?
Polly was showing 99. Like, look at this, chat. Polly is using his macro, man, and he got the 99 kills.
You're going to do something that creates a better quality of life for players at large if we were to allow this and make it more enjoyable for people? Or are we going to be, you know, very disciplined and aggressive and punitive over what they qualify as the terms of service. And I'm not sure if anyone else out there has actually gone into the terms of service. If you speak legalese, because it is very much a legal document, a lot of this stuff is extremely ambiguous, which is intentional. That is the
Yeah, it's exactly what he's saying. Like the gray area that exists, it's like what is fucked up, man.
smart way to write a legally binding contract because you want it to be malleable to your needs. And these terms that are in there, like win trading, there's no specific definition of win trading in the actual terms of service. I promise you, I've personally gone in and looked for it. I have searched it. I've tried to look at it through various different ways. There's no definition. There's the term win trading in there, but there is no definition. So this is something that is left to the discretion of Blizzard, and they ultimately, we all signed the same terms of service. We all waived our legal action potential if we were to ever pursue anything for any decisions that they make. So before people go out there and start, waving fingers on how things should be done, realize that no one out there has any say in how this is defined other than the company that owns the rights to that contract, and those rights are totally malleable on their needs at that time and can be changed at their discretion.
This reminds me, like, there is a platform called Twitch that it suffers like the same problem when it comes like to streamer bans. So the TOS, it's made and written in a way that it is not concrete what is actually bannable or not. So you have cases of people that they just get banned unfairly, and others that they do exactly the same thing and they don't get banned. So it just creates like these very unfair environment, like inside the platform, where the people, like they don't know exactly what should I do or not. And it's happening exactly the same thing here in Diablo Immortal, man. Like I feel at this stage, chat, I'm like, fuck it, do whatever you want, man. I guess like being legit in this game, it doesn't get you anything. So if you want to buy or sell an account, just fucking do it. If you want to go in an AFK farm and all these things and macros and others, like, listen, all I can say is like it is on the TOS and you may get banned, but nobody's getting fucking banned. So, I mean,
so the macro thing. Sorry, I'm tangential here, but the macro thing is another one where it's like gray area. Yeah, it's a quality of life thing that I think could really, make things enjoyable for some people. It's a violation of terms of service. I don't personally want to use it because I like to grind my stuff. That's the whole allure.
I feel like whenever you start putting a lot of auto stuff in a game, then it's just like gonna become like like the difference between like you sending your pets to do the boring stuff, it's like you send the pets to the boring stuff so you have more time inside the game to do the cool stuff. That's what we're looking for. But if you are using a macro and you just spend it, like it's the same as AFK farming, man. Like I don't AFK farm. I tried like a few like last month or something when I was playing Necro just to see how it is. Yes, it's fucking OP, man. Yes, you can get a lot of scraps. It is not as effective as you actually are playing the game. But a macro, goes even beyond that, because like the guy keeps like going around farming all these things, can also clean your bags so you can salvage with your pet. So it's like an instant loop that you can leave it like for hours without even touching the screen. And if you tell me that these, oh no, these are gray areas, this should be allowed, I don't think shit like this should be allowed. I'm sorry, but I don't think it should be allowed at all.
Of a Diablo game to me. But if it's something that brings keeps people in the community longer, I think that could be a good thing, because nothing is worse for this game at this point than further attrition. And especially if you can get a new player to hop in and say they still like running these dungeons and whatnot, but if you give them an opportunity to get a little bit further, it's going to be more enticing.
Yeah, you bring up the
You don't listen. You want to get them further into the game by getting like it's not by putting macros, man, or putting autoplay. Like that, like if this one of the main reasons why I don't like and I dislike to play a lot of agent games is because like they have auto battle, they have auto farm, they have everything is auto. I just hate it, man. Because like I don't know, but like, why would you play a game that everything is auto? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like at that the stage, just go do something else.
Familiars and being able to have your
And there is a very different cultural, like in Asia, in China, like autoplay. It is just like almost every game, every mobile game has it. And that's to a point that even Diablo Immortal had to put it because a lot of players they warred against it. But I mean, this is not a Chinese game, man.
your pets go out and do stuff for you. As Diablo Immortal gets
I mean, to be honest, it is a Chinese game with a Western skin IP.
larger, with more activities to do, with more events, or with people getting more towards endgame, wanting to participate in battlegrounds more, we need to be realistic that this is a mobile game that a lot of adults play, and that a lot of adults play in their spare time. Some people have more spare time than others. This is not a Diablo game like Diablo 2, where people would spend 10 hours a day in front of a screen grinding that game. At least the audience of players, for the most part, are not those players. Now, we definitely have players that do spend that kind of time, that do just grind to that extent. But I think there's a lot of people, maybe like you and me, that have jobs, have families, and we play the game a lot, but when we can. I play the game throughout the day. I don't sit down and have a 4-hour session of the game for most parts of the day, or for most times. I just don't typically play that way. But I will play for 3 to 4 hours throughout the day when I can get on here and there in between work, and some days less. So when the familiars came in and allowed us to be able to run shadow contracts, dude, that's the first time I did shadow contracts in months.
That was good.
I would never do them because I just didn't enjoy.
That's good, but that's very different from like letting like the character. You just leave your PC on, your phone on, and it's just like doing the auto thing. No, I am 100% in favor of the familiars. You just send them, they do the boring stuff, and I can do the cool shit in the game.
Enjoy doing them. And I'm like, it just was just another thing that I had to do. There's so many small things to do inside of the game to keep up with your grind that it will often keep players away from doing the things that they want to do, like the event that just popped in the game for the week, or like battlegrounds, or like maybe they're just trying to experience a new zone for whatever reason. I don't love, and it's kind of the nature of the beast with an action RPG, but I don't love the idea that I have to every day do X, Y, and Z just to keep my account up to level as, you know, as a light spender inside of the game. I like the idea that I can, if I want to, send out my familiars to go do my bounties and to go run the, you know, all these different things in the game. I'd actually like to see familiars be able to do more and take less time to do some things that are out there already. Because for me, bounties are fine, but I don't love doing bounties. I feel like after 2.5 years playing the game, I could do without bounties. But I want the rewards that I get from doing the bounties. I want to get that, you know, I want to get that progression from them. Although you arguably get less from having your familiars do it for you. You're not collecting monstrous essence while you're out there, and maybe the gear that you get, there's less. But it's still worth the trade-off for me. I'm actually going to very much miss when familiars can't do bounties anymore, and I plan to make a couple of videos.
Even though like they put the bounties on the board for like the pets, I'm not sending that because it just takes like so long. So I always do it like this. I always send 1 pet to do the events, and I send 3 pets to do the shadow contracts. This gonna take like around like 6 hours or something. And that's fine. Then I go do the bounties. I do 3 dungeons. I do 1 terror rift, and I'm done. Then I log in at night, and then I collect like the shadow contract, or I log in the next day, and I'm done for the day. So I have like mid-max my in-game time. I feel like now my routine is probably like I'll say like 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm done.
Videos
what's
on
up, man?
like, let's keep the familiars here, and the bounties something that they can run. And I'd like for them to be able to do that much quicker than they already do. Maybe even add a few different game modes in there that are just used for the grind, maybe like the Abyssal Verge or things like that, just to be able to grind other elements of the game that you don't want to have to do every single day.
Yeah, it's like this part is actually cool. Like if they added like the Abyssal Verge to do the weekly gems, for me the weekly gems are actually okay to do. What it actually absolutely annoys me is having to run multiple Elder Rifts every week for the Fading Embers, man. The day that they put pets to do, but they will have to shorten it up the duration, or they'll have to put like more pet slots because we don't have enough pet slots and the durations are just crazy.
Now, a lot of people
Yeah.
also mention that maybe even dungeons, can the familiars grind dungeons? There's a balance, right? You don't want, if you have the familiars doing too much for you, you suddenly have an AFK game. But if you don't have them doing enough, you have a game where there's too much grind and not enough being able to play the elements that you want to play.
No, but it's like this is not AFK because like you send the pets and then it allows you to go and do stuff that you really want to do, you know? Because after a few months, you don't really want to be running the same like daily routine of like 3 dungeons, like do the bounties, all this. No, you don't want to do that. You just want, okay, today what I'm feeling. Okay, I'm feeling like to do PvP. I'm gonna do PvP. Oh, I'm feeling like to do open world. I'm gonna do open world. So it's like whatever you are in the mood to go and play, you do it, but you don't feel like you're forced to do always the same thing.
Play. So I've never done macros, but I know what they are and I understand what they do inside of the game. And I do like that Blizzard is finding a way to kind of squeeze a little bit of that type of mechanic into the game in
I hope they don't add macros. I'm okay with them expanding the pet, but no macros.
a way that's very clear,
with these.
very easy to do, and where you don't have to toe the line of terms of service.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, like you said, if okay, say you're doing Ibans, that's 5 minutes, not a big deal. Probably less. Then you do your contracts. That's or your bounty, excuse me. That's not that long. You're looking at maybe 10 minutes, right? That's 15 minutes. So now you say you want to go do your 3 bestiaries. That if you have a tower for it,
I stopped
that's
doing
going to be
bestiaries.
anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes roughly. So now you're
Or at least if I do, usually I stop doing it, but usually I do at least one out of 3 and the Shard Storm, because like those things are guaranteed legendary items.
looking at an hour of playtime there. Now add in your 3 dungeons. Maybe another 15 minutes. Not too crazy, but that's an hour and 15 minutes of mundane stuff that you've been doing for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That really doesn't reap any true benefit for you for significant advancement in the game. And what you say, you're just a person who wants to do battlegrounds, and you're really drawn to something like that. Like you said, we both work, we both have families, we have limited time in the game. I don't spend any of my time anymore doing Ibans and bounties and whatnot, aside from sending my familiar there. I wish it didn't take up 6 hours of my time to do that.
Yeah,
But
100%.
it is what it is. But then factor in all these other things that continually get added to the game. When's the last time you went and farmed a tower to get all of your shards for max rewards on that?
Never.
Never.
Yeah, it's really not worth.
Like to be honest, but never, because now you can get it from the pets. The pets can farm the tower for you, or you can also get like those contribution points. So I still do the tower because that legendary crest is still like very key for me. You say as long as you play with friends, it's a fun experience. I mean, like, but okay, it is a fun experience if you're running like with friends dungeons, or you're trying to do PvP or something like that. But if you're like doing the mundane stuff, like the bounties and all these things, I mean, like these things aren't like as fun to do, like I enjoy to farm some dungeons with friends, or to play around or fuck around, or like do some Abyssal Verge or something like that. But besides that, not really
worth it. But we can send our familiars there now to get a little bit of it, to chip away at it over the course of the week. So there's some benefit to that. But then again, if you're really going to maximize what we can do with the familiars, you have to be logging in several times a day, hours apart each time, just to be saving, 10, 15 minutes at a time. Like they really should cut down the time that
Yeah.
these familiars are being utilized for these different tasks, because while it does help with some efficiency, it creates a different form of inefficiency and a different kind of burden for you to have to go back in just to run these things. And on top of that, once you're in the game, you have to walk your character all the way back over to Nissa from wherever you were before,
Oh, that's
just to
annoying.
collect them or send them back out. So there's opportunity for improvement. It's nice that it's there. It's a great first step, but it's a long way from where it should be.
Yeah, I think some of that's by design as well. Having players have to, if you want to really take advantage of not having to do those things, having players have to log in every 6 hours so that they can essentially make sure that their familiars are not just sitting there dormant and they're actually going out and doing something. I think it's by design. Would love it if if they cut the times in half. I would be happy. I would also be happy if I never had to do a bounty again, and if I could have the familiars do any type of the grind elements as I want inside of the game, so that we can play special events or other things that we want.
Yeah.
So you're telling me a little
Like, for example, the Survivor's Bane, right? Like yesterday, while I was waiting to do and go do the testing on the new map of the battlegrounds, I was doing something that I have not been doing a lot, and it was just actually enjoying the game. And what I was doing Survivor's Bane. So in Survivor's Bane, if you want to do all the missions, man, that takes a while, man. That takes a while. Each run, if you get to the end, most of the times it gets like 15 minutes. A few can actually go a bit more, but it takes a while. But it is fun. It is fun. It is a good thing for the change. But most of the times, I'm gonna be honest. Lately, I've been skipping Survivor's Bane because it just takes like too many hours. I feel like going from like the first level until the endless mode, like first you have to kill 10,000 mobs, then you have to kill like 50 bosses. It's just like too much.
Side note here, you don't typically, before this, the pets started being able to do these things, you didn't do any bounties. How did you keep up your levels and stuff? Was that just from excessive amounts of battlegrounds and PvP related elements?
I wouldn't do normal bounties. I bought the essences, so that the terror essences, so that I could just do all of them at once and then get a very good piece of gear, more than likely, out of it. But yeah, for the longest time, I just did terror bounties. I didn't do regular bounties. Here's a tip for people out there who don't know, but you can really jump ahead on your weekly levels if you just hold back on getting your tower experience, or anytime you lose a tower, either through acquiring a new one or just losing it to whatever reason it might be. If you lost it in a tower fight, all of the experience that you gained or that you have currently sitting at the tower at the time of loss gets mailed to you, so you can wait until Monday to then collect on it, so that you're not facing an experience penalty. So really, for the last year and a half, I've done very, very little as far as experience grinding goes. I just save my experience from, whether it be
The mails.
shadow assembly or towers throughout the week, and then just collect it monthly.
Yeah, as you keep playing the game and you start getting a bit smarter how to get like, because like even I, like, now I'm like 690 or 91 or something like that. But I got all my battle pass, so on Monday I'm gonna log in, I'm gonna put my battle pass, and I'm gonna be like 700 and something, right? I probably could go and do it, but because I didn't save the raids, I just don't want to risk it, so probably I'm just gonna do on Monday and it's gonna be fine. Also, I don't have like any pre-farming done.
Monday, and then I'll do my bounties. By the time I finish my bounties on Monday, I'm usually 9 levels ahead of server Paragon without putting in much effort at all.
Monday collection of experience is something I've been preaching on the channel for probably a year or a year and a half. I still get questions around that whole strategy all the time. I don't want to go in depth about how it works right now, but essentially the server paragon goes up every Monday by 10, and you'll get more experience for anything claimed on the Monday. We'll go into that in another video. Great strategy though right there. And overall, really great conversation that we had here. I like hearing all of these questions that would probably be answered very differently if I was speaking to a free-to-play player or a really low spender. I like hearing it from you, someone that spends quite a bit inside of the game. But I think what I really liked most about this is how you value not only the whale community, but all of the players that are within the community, and how free-to-play players, low spenders, all the way up to whales have their spot inside of the game and have their value. So I think that was something that was a context that I think most people weren't expecting to hear from a whale interview, and one that I actually didn't expect to go.
That was nice. And but again, I hope like we're gonna have in the future a whale that actually shows us and tell us exactly because like chat, I'm telling you, I know for a fact there are like more things that happens in behind the scenes. A few of them are very shady. So if in the future there is a whale that wants to come and talk about it, like exactly how they do it, oh, that'll be awesome.
Go as
like this is like the perspective. Even I feel like I enjoyed more like the other interview. I think like the it's like the RP came and we listened to it, and I see like where it comes from, but it's not like after this hour I got like a lot more knowledgeable about whales, right? It felt like more like a normal conversation between like a casual player and a whale, right?
Deep into and hear as much on myself. So I wanted to say thanks for coming on and for answering those questions. And I want to open the invite. I'm not part of these whale communities, but if you guys ever do have topics that you want to discuss that we could shed some light on to the rest of the community that plays this game, you have an open invite to come back to the channel at any point in time. It's always a great conversation that both I enjoy, and I think a lot of people that watch enjoy as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, and I got to say too, for the whale community, off of your last interview with Mr. W, they were very happy to see like someone posting a video that wasn't just bashing whales, because that is a very popular thing to do. And I get it. I get it. Like no one likes to come in and then you're in a battleground and some guy is just sitting on top of your entire team. I don't like those guys. I don't want to be that guy. I don't like to play with those guys, but those guys are absolutely out there. They do make a psychological impression that is hard to remove. I wish I could scrub it from my own.
I mean, but listen, even though like you're not spawn camping, like the effect is more or less the same. Like if you're like a massive whale and the other guy is weaker than you, and he gets one-shotted, like if he doesn't enjoy PvP and if he doesn't enjoy like these kind of things, like he most likely is gonna hate whales, right? I feel like hating the whales, like you have to hate the game, don't hate the player, right? That's what I think. Like that guy, the game, he works his way, he has money, he went for it, and now he's strong. So for me, I don't have any problems against a whale or like it's just like, of course sometimes I don't like to get like one-shotted by crypto or evil monster or something like that, but it's just how it is, man. I try to play my best as a low resonance, right? But like I'm not gonna hate them, and I feel like if you hate whales, it's stupid, right? Because most likely, if you hate whales, you're free to play. You're not adding a lot to the game when it comes like to monetary things. So why are you hating on a guy that actually is going out of his way to put like a lot of cash in the game, right?
Own brain, but it's unfortunate that we don't like them as well in the whale community, and yeah, I'm sorry for that. I hope it doesn't make you think the rest of us are that way. Try and remember the whales as the guys who are helping you.
Most interactions that I always had, especially like on my server, because I never been in other servers, are always good. They help, or they are chilled. Like there are a few of them that are cringe, but like that's part of it. Like even like it's just part.
You get through Gauntlet when you wouldn't otherwise be able to get to it, or
Yeah,
who
freaking
are
gauntlet,
doing
man.
raid carries, or are, your vanguard for your clan to keep whatever tower they're on. And also when you guys are, there's other streams I've seen where people are very angry and calling out people who have secondhand accounts, and whatever you want to, however they came into possession of them. um, just keep in mind, like, you probably have some of those on secondhand accounts in your own clan and you may not know it. So
Oh, I'm sure,
realize,
chat.
as you call out for these significant actions, it's gonna, whether it happens or not, this could have a significant impact directly to you, even if you're not one of these people. That could be people who are not around anymore to help carry you, or to help you win your tower fights, or whatever it might be. Just keep that in mind. Personally, I'm grateful I'm a legit whale. I'll never need to worry about losing my account, but it would be sad to see a lot of people lose, those linchpins that a lot of clans have come to rely on.
Yeah, that's something that I realized as well over the past couple of months. A few months back, I made the first video on account sharing and all of that, with a lot less knowledge than what I have now after, honestly, months of learning about it, speaking with people from good people, bad people, free-to-play players, whales, literally tons of people I've spoken to over the past few months. I feel much more in a position of understanding of how the whole ecosystem works, whether breaking terms of service or not. I'm glad that I have all of that context and I can share it here for people to make up their own minds. I'm not here to make up people's viewers' minds on this topic. That's definitely up to you. There are going to be people that comment on this video, Robert, that say, if you're breaking terms of service, it's bad for the game. You should be banned no matter who you are. And there's going to be people that understand some of the points that you spoke of as well. And that's why I think this is a valuable video, so that some information from a different,
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
voice, a different mouth can be heard for maybe a little bit of a different view. But at the end of the day, again, I appreciate you coming through. Any last things you want to mention before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just, you made a good point. There are going to be people who are always going to see, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And, that is certainly a perspective. But how many of these people also have picked up their phone while they're driving, forgot to put a seatbelt on,
Oh, come on. Come on.
rolled through a stoplight or a stop sign, excuse me, and
Listen.
went over the speed limit even by a mile. We don't exist. It's perfectly understandable that you have this perception of black and white, but we don't exist in black and white. Business doesn't exist in black and white. Life is not that simple. Um, there's there needs to be some give and some take. And again, I personally don't love that all of this is out there. I would be so much stronger if everyone, like, relative to the game, if
Yeah, chat. If you guys didn't, if you guys are not on the sidewalk, you guys are breaking the IRL TOS. Okay, so you better go to jail. Okay,
everyone else who was
that was a very bad example, man. Very bad example.
at my level was legit and their spend was actually equal to what their power was, I wouldn't have so many fierce rivals in the game. It probably wouldn't make it as fun for me, but I would definitely feel like more of king of the hill sometimes. But that doesn't mean, I want these people to lose what they do have.
I mean, of course, he's gonna be biased to his perspective, right? Because for him, if they don't get banned, if these accounts don't get banned, it is better for him because probably he's gonna have more competition. Because if, like, most of these accounts were banned, a lot of clans will be handicapped when it comes to the power. But I mean, like, we know that they are not gonna get banned because he just said that, like, if you have money and if you spend a lot of money in the game, you're not gonna get banned, right? So
I think that, we need to be a little more conscientious and also understand that, this extreme call to action for any infringement whatsoever is going to hurt more people then you will even begin to start to think about now these, even if it were to remove all of these people, there are going to be others who care for those people who stopped playing the game that you liked. There's just larger.
And this is like whatever he's saying right now, that's like a major issue. The game, it is at a state that it has so many few players that they are like against the wall, you know, like even if they want to pull the trigger to ban a lot of these things, they just can't. And that's like, for me, the most alarming thing, because like it's just like every player counts, right? So if you start banning players, then you're gonna end up without players.
Sequences of consequences and something like that. So, you know, maybe put down the pitchforks and try and think outside of yourself when you're calling for something so extreme.
At the end of the day, videos and interviews like this, and by the way, happy to have interviews with large people from the other side of this community as well, the free-to-play players or players that just don't engage with any whales inside of the game in any way. Happy to have those interviews as well. But at the end of the day, what I want is to be able to bring these two sides together. You're right. The whales are viewed as an evil entity inside of the game.
No, I don't think so. Like, do you guys see it as an evil identity? I don't see that in that way. Not at all. Not at all. Like, if you are, as you guys say, that you are a whale and you did it in a legit way, I have no problem. I don't think any player has a problem with a legit whale. What we're talking about is like buying and selling accounts, macro users or abusers, like multiple alts in accounts and all these shady things, using pilots. Like, that's the things that people have problems with. Nobody fucking cares. Like, if you are a legit whale, like that's not like what most people complain about, or most people have problems with it.
And there are good people that are whales and bad, and there are good people that are free-to-play players, and there are bad. It has nothing to do with how much money you spend inside of the game. And just the other day, Ador ran me through the Heliquary so I could unlock I5. Great example of how someone that was a much larger spender than me inside of the game helped me do something that I wouldn't have been able to do on my own. So you do bring up some great points. And at the end of the day, I want the communities to be able to get along better together, to make a stronger, healthier game for Diablo Immortal, which is a game that I personally love and want to continue playing for the next few years. So again, Robert, thanks for coming on. Open invite to come back at any point in time. And yeah, I appreciate your context and hope that everyone appreciated listening to your thoughts on these topics.
This was a great video, man.
Absolutely. And if there's anyone still listening after all this time, man, we've had quite a conversation. Thank you for still being here. And, good, bad, or otherwise, I appreciate any feedback you guys leave on the channel.
We'll be checking out.
This was awesome. Chat, go there, drop him a like and a sub if you guys are still not sub to Echo. Great video. As I said, man, like, I don't think there is if you have like a beef against whales, I feel like that's cringe, right? Like, if someone has a lot of money and they want to spend on the game, like, let them be. I think like the borderline is whenever like we're having a lot of like this TOS getting like, literally just ran over and nobody cares. Then we got to know, like, if you have a lot of money, I guess you can do like naughty things and you can break the TOS and still not getting banned. So those things I didn't like to listen, but I feel like any sane people, if you're sane and it's like a sane free-to-play and a sane whale that it seemed like this guy was, obviously you like both players, right? Like, you like free-to-plays and you like whales, and you understand like both sides, they have roles inside the game. So I also like to I like that he said that because like last time, like the other whale that he went, it kind of like it was a bittersweet like the take. But great video, and I catch you guys next one. Thanks for watching. See you. Chat, what do you guys thought about this? What do you guys thought about the video? That was a long ass video, chat. Long ass video. But why is a problem having alts and growing on your main character? You're playing the game, you're grinding, not someone else. Why is the plant from? Because like I understand, you know, and a lot of players they say that, but it's just like if that was like if that wasn't against the TOS, right? Like the alt farming and the plant farming, listen, everyone does it except me, and every time I say that I don't do it because I rather spend my time in other things, a lot of people start like getting mad. Personally, I think that it is more beneficial for the game if you just play with one character and you min-max that character as much as you can by playing solely that character. But if you want to spend your time, you want to go farm and all these things, like it's totally up to you. I don't think you're gonna get banned, even if it's against TOS. We just saw right now, right? So you know, it is what it is, man. I'm anti a hole if a whale is a anti asshole. Yeah, of course, like you know, like if someone is an asshole, like it's kind of cringe, right? No, of course, like you know, anyone's gonna be biased to their perspective, right? So they're gonna but which is a good thing that they actually are doing these interviews, so we can try to understand their side a bit better. And I genuinely watch it because I get curious about it. You know, I enjoy it because like I'm not a whale, right? I never really understood like why people will, but again, I felt like this interview was not as good as the old one. It was more or less like the same thing, even like less detailed than the last one. It's not a bad thing if you have time. It's all right. Yeah, if the game allows you to, like, I mean, the game allows you to go and do the plat farming and all these things, but on the TOS you should not be able to do it. Why is this lagging so much? I don't want to go into the game and start lagging. Okay, maybe I have to restart. Maybe we have to restart the game, chat. Let me restart this. Personally, chat, all these things that are against the TOS, I in general don't do, and I don't recommend doing it. But it's up to you, man. You know, it's being proven that most likely you're not gonna get banned if you do macros, alt farming, like the Susan account buying, and you know, like account sharing. Like I guess like nobody gives a fuck, man. But you know what is cringe is that if I go live and I am playing someone else's account for entertainment purpose, for fun, I'm gonna get like a ban or something like that, you know. So that's what I'm saying.
Perhaps next time.
So if you are streaming and you do a few things, you're gonna get banned.
Legendary weapons.
So are they like really legal to do, or it's just legal whenever like you are offline? Let's go inside PvP for a bit. By the way, chat, yesterday during the testing, the new map testing, I got MVP 3 times. And I won all the games. I didn't lose one game. I think we did like 7 or 8 games. If you have Indez on your team, you have a god. Never lose a game. Can you speak about it? No, I cannot. I can only say it was really fun. It was funny and it got me excited. How did you end up on that server? Because I'm a Diablo partner and we got invited. A few Diablo Immortal partners, they got invited. Pulls of Wisdom, how did I got here? It's just because like it was the first, like, so when you install the game and you want to start playing the game and you just go inside the first server that appears on the game. So that's exactly what it happened. That's how I end up in this server. I didn't choose it. It was just like the first that the game recommended me. So I think it was the server that new players they used to be recommended. I don't think it's this one any longer. I think now if you create a new account, probably it's gonna be Books of Canon. But I'm not like 100% sure on that. Bro, how long is this bubble? What the? How long is that? You guys saw the duration of that bubble? This was so stupid. Chat, if you are this guy, don't be this guy. Okay? You just lost Savior and Glad for nothing. Literally nothing. Such a waste. All right. Guys, we have to start going. All right. We are catching them. Like, look at these. These nasty arcane winds. All right. We're losing so much time here, man. God damn it. Are we facing like big whales or something? Like, this is crazy. Yeah, I think we always start the game the day with a fucking L. All right. Okay, we got caught. All right. Big wind right there. Wow, dude, look at the damage we're doing. There it is. Now I just hope that the tanks can my tanks go or not? Maybe not, chat. Can I open this idol? Nice. Oh, we got fucked.
I grow weak.
All right, we captured that guy. Okay, I'm gonna heal. We gotta heal. Okay, we got the idol. Holy shit! What? What was that crazy thing? I got fucked. Okay, I cannot do anything. It's crazy. Cannot move.
I need healing.
Okay. I was just like on the wrong side. As a wizard, you always have to be on the other side. Like, I don't know why. Don't we have like front line or something?
Heal me.
God damn it, chat. Okay, got that guy. Okay, I'm dead. Yeah, so I don't think this is gonna be it, chat. This is it's a bad game. Bad game for us. I got caught there. Jesus Christ. I'm a necro player. Farming is the best thing. Yeah, farming as a necro is really good, right? You just AFK farm, basically. Alright. Can we push these? This necro is demolishing everything. Like, look at him.
I need
That's what happens when you face a big whale.
heal me.
All right, this is done.
I grow weak.
It's just a bad matchmaking, chat. I don't think we have like a front line or something. Like, it feels like I am the one trying to push. It's crazy. All right. Good stuff there. But now it's just too late. These necro, brother. Jesus Christ. There he comes. Okay, we caught him there. OP necro still going well in the battlegrounds. I mean, if you are like this big, of course. You know? Like, it could literally be playing anything. You know, it doesn't matter. At that level of resonance, it just doesn't matter, man. Just play whatever you want. That's another thing, like, whales they have in their favor, is that you don't have to limit yourself of what you want to play. Because anything you're gonna play most likely is gonna work. All right. Man, I love when Echo comes with these videos, man. It gives us so much content. Seriously. I'm kind of hungry, man. All right. Just bad matchup. Bad matchup, chat. Playing a wizard with a not a solid front line feels bad. Yeah.
Have you? Well, you're in the right
It's like
place.
playing support in League of Legends with a bad AD carry. It feels terrible. I can't wait to collect all of these battle pass points. So even if I get like level 700, my combat rating is gonna be, I am still like 2000 combat rating away from like Inferno 5, you know? It's gonna take so long. Also, I don't really want to like pre-farm, to be honest, man. I don't want to do all that shenanigan of like five turns in Inferno 1 and all these things. I just refuse, man. I'm waiting for like the major patch, and I hope to see a fix. Because Inferno 5 being 45.6 thousand combat rating is absolutely insane. So I have one piece here. This one is gonna increase my combat rating by 120. So 120. Yeah, probably there are some pieces that I can improve a lot, right? Let's see. So did we got unlucky? Let's see. They have a good necro on the other side, I think. This guy used to be a demon hunter all the time. I guess he was like, you know what? Demon hunter is not for me anymore. Let me go barb. Okay, this is done. Okay, that guy got caught. We gotta catch them all. Catch them all. Look at all that CC, man. Okay, I think there is one guy coming here from the back. We gotta catch them. Okay. Push to the front. Idols always. Whoa, chill, brother. What the hell? Chill. You guys saw that? That guy like just went on me and destroyed me. That was crazy. What's up, Slayer? That was nutty, man. Absolutely bamboozled right there. Oh, man. Okay. Go, 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 go. Just don't let him come. Nice shit, nice shit. Oh, I'm dead. This taunt it's so long. The Crusader taunt, I think it's too long, Chad. It's like 5 seconds, man. All right, I'm gonna go on the other side, bro. There's nothing I can do there. And I guess there's nothing I can do here too. All right. Okay, we gotta heal. It's like one of those games that we don't have front line again. Like even that guy, that Tempest was not that great, and it destroyed me.
I'm injured.
Oh, dude. Right. These guys is low spender. It doesn't work, monk. Low spender. Oh my god. This Crusader thing is so annoying. He doesn't do much more than that. It's like or he kills you like that or he dies. Try to heal before I get one-shotted again. Okay, nice. Okay, let's try to push. Keep pushing. Oh, it's coming on me.
Quickly, I require aid.
Come on, dude. Okay, we're doing a good push now. We're doing like really good push right now. All right. That guy, I don't know why he's leaving, but okay. I didn't understand like that Tempest though.
I'm injured.
We did better on this one. I'm gonna go here on the spawn, and I think we're gonna push. GG's, man. G fucking G, man. Woo! Good stuff. Good stuff on this one. I kind of wanted to go push for rank 1. Look at this. Most seasons, longest crowd control duration. So this is like one thing that the whale was saying, and that I agree, is like, as a wizard or a free-to-play, whenever you're playing in this high tier legend, it's like it's gonna be like really hard for you to compete here, you know, like, because you just don't have the stats and you don't have the resonance. So your goal is always to go and try to play a class that you can be like somewhat like supportive, right? So we had wizard and we had the barbarian. Now is mainly wizard. So even though you don't have like a lot of kills, just the fact that you are there to provide like for CC and all these things, it's just like you're doing your job. As long as you're doing that, you're doing your job. I lost 10 games back to back. Wow, dude. After I was 1 point away from legend. So what I'll recommend, and I have like this PvP guide, I say that if you lose 2 or 3 matches and you see yourself get tilted, just walk off for a bit. Go have some water, eat something, you know, just go away for a bit, because like it's just gonna get worse, you know. You may lost like the first few games because you maybe like the matchmaking was not there and all these things, but at some point then you also became like part of the problem. I did these 10 games was on 3 days. Also, you did like 3 games per day. That's rough. Crypto was in 2 of my games. I mean, Crypto is in most of my games. Like, it's him, Evil Monster, and all these big boys. They are always there. What is my rating? Okay, we're gonna try to push for 4200. Could be cool. I have all these chat. I have all these mails. I don't think I'm gonna get them. I think I'm gonna save these mails for level 800 or something.
Haha, yes. Your reputation precedes you for...
You were that Tempest? Which one? The big boy or the small boy? The one that was on the spawn in the beginning? Because there was 2 Tempests. One was weaker than the other. Brandon is saying exactly, Indez is the most impactful when the player knows their role. Play from range and control the idle zone. Yeah, that's the only thing. And but you also gonna be like very dependent on your team, and you have to be okay with that. The small boy, I was always dying. Yeah, then I know which one you were. I mean, but you were trying to do your role. Trying to kill the backline. Let's go. What? Why? What do you mean, Cisco? Why what? Okay. That wizard is trying to go like all crazy. I don't know if these are. Oh, we have the big tempest. The big tempest is here, chat.
I'm injured.
Jesus. Okay, these are all whales. I cannot do anything against them.
Heal me.
Okay, at least I can leave the CC though. I'll be curious to see the new battleground map. The current map favors Wiz CC. If it's more open, you'll have to see. I cannot comment on that. You know that. I wish I could. The males use them? No, I'll save them for like a level 800 or something. Or probably if I use them, I'm gonna use them on Monday. I'll see. All right. Yeah, bro. Like I can't go against this Tempest. This guy is just gonna demolish me all the time. Indez, which Paragon is good to use for summon Necro? Okay, so for summon Necro is not good in PvP, so you should not be using that build. But if you really want to use that, probably, I don't know, like I always use like Gladiator or the Brawler though. Okay, this guy is very annoying. I'm gonna go to the other lane. All right.
Quickly, I require aid.
Okay, I don't know if we can do a lot here. If I have like that Tempest and that Wizard, those both whales like jumping on me, I'm not gonna be able to do a lot. Okay, this guy's gonna die. Okay, there was an ICC there. CC there. This is gonna be a absolutely, we're gonna get destroyed here. It's sad, but it is what it is. We're getting destroyed, chat. It's not looking good for us. Yeah, we don't have front line. There's no front line. I guess I'm gonna have to suicide here with a gladiator. Oh, they opened the other side. It's fine. We got all. Listen, bro, these guys are actually smurfing. When I say smurfing, it's like, I mean like it's like too powerful to be here, right? 16-0-6. Wow. I'm gonna check his stats. Let's see his stats. 9,000. Who was my whale? Jesus Christ. All right, chat. I am really hungry. I think we're gonna do I think tomorrow, like we did 3 matches today. The honest truth, I'm not feeling like to do like a lot of PvP. I had a lot of fun today on today's stream. I'm probably gonna have to go and record some things, and tomorrow I'll try to go and push for these not rank 1, but I think we're gonna try to push for at least 4,300. I kind of wanted to get close and closer to rank 1. Maybe we can get that. So hopefully we're gonna be here. So tomorrow, if you guys want to join the stream, you guys know. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, chat, and I catch you guys on the next one. Good stream.